How's it going, people? Jack here with another video, and here to check out the second part of the Shane Vibes Truth Debunked. Diving further into the rabbit hole of a conspiracy theorist that seems to be even worse than Philip Ziba, which, by the way, in all honesty, after finishing the first video, I think that this might very well be the best. God, this sounds odd to say. Milo is currently providing Philip with the greatest PR of all times, and you've got to love it. And so here we're going to part 2 of Shane Vibes Truth Debunked part 2. Got my note block, my pen to take some notes, some to drink. It's gonna be a long one, and yeah, let's get into it. And it's outside.
Weird looking chairs.
Outside
really
now.
Bright out here. I give my laptop about 15 minutes before it overheats, and then I just have to ad-lib the entire video. Why did I not bring my water bottle out here? I bring my water bottle onto set every time I film, and most of the time it's not even in a place where I need it. But now that I'm out baking in the heat, I actually should probably have water. What a concept. Thought we could use something to maybe allow my laptop to not melt quite as much, so I brought this, which I thought you guys would appreciate. I brought the Atlantis book with me on vacation here so I could, you know, work through it. But
Right.
This seems to actually be more useful. Why did I decide to do these videos again? Here I was being like, this will just be like a fun little project to work on. And I started it in May, and now it's July, and I'm filming part 2.
Good sir, it is August. Well, at least for us who are watching it now.
And it's nowhere near done, so fuck me, I guess. I'm so glad to be joined by a fucking osprey for this. That's really nice. He's helping me with the voiceover. Hi everyone, here we are again. In the last video, we started talking about a guy called Shane. Shane is an Instagram character who makes a lot of conspiracy content. And because I am just a massive fan of really terrible brain-dead conspiracies, I decided that it would be really fun to just go through his entire account and debunk pretty much everything on it. This is kind of similar to a series I did last year on a guy named Philip Ziba who did the same thing over on TikTok. I kind of had a hunch that this Shane video would be a little bit of work. You know, it would probably be multiple parts just like it was with Philip, and those parts would be pretty long. But I'm gonna be totally honest, I don't think I really had any idea what I was getting myself into. And so today it is with my deepest condolences that we are going to be continuing this journey into the madness of Shane Vibes Truth. Okay, so as you guys probably remember, the last video was talking about creationism, and it literally ended because it ended up being almost 2 hours long and my battery ran out, and I'm like, for the sake of my editing team and getting this out in a reasonable time, I'm gonna just cut it here, and I'm gonna pick up with creationism in the next video. And so that's what I did, and I sat down and I started, scripting it out. I had a great guest visit with none other than Professor Dave Explains, and I was like, that's perfect.
Hey.
That's gonna be part 2, and then we're gonna move right along into part 3 with pseudo-archaeology. But as I was working up the script for part 2 on creationism, I was like, I kind of want to touch on the whole Shane selling supplements thing. As you'll probably remember that I mentioned in the first video, pretty much all of Shane's content is sort of a sales pitch to, use his promo code to buy supplements and pills and shit. And while I've dealt with a lot of conspiracy people, I've never really dealt with anyone that does that sort of thing. And so I thought it was worth talking about. So I decided I was going to script just like a little piece at the beginning of the next creationism video, just to talk about it for one section. And as I dug into it more and more and more and more, that script just kept getting longer and longer, and it turned from one section of a video into this entire video.
Okay, so understanding this correctly, Professor Dave will not be featured in this one, but I'm still on. Because if the patterns turns out well, with Shane promoting health supplements last time, we're going to dive into some very horrible territory. So, yeah, I guess let's continue.
Oh, believe me, you guys are in for a fucking roller coaster today. Oh, that's my laptop fan. That's always a good
Jesus.
sign. Oh yeah, probably doesn't help that I have Premiere Pro, Photoshop, and Lightroom all open at the same time.
Ah, boy, of course. He's in the thumbnail, but still. Listen, I'm not American, and this is not an exclusive American thing. Even the Danish government has been doing some very weird thing as of late, as in we have lowered the taxation on certain goods, being the likes of candy, fatty supplies of certain easily available grocery store things. And our government just came forth and was like, we did this so that you now have more free room in your wallet to buy the healthy option.
Are you stupid or something?
Might not be littered with conspiracy theories and anti-vaxxers here, or nor have a movement of like decisively God-fearing Christians who only believe that the Lord is going to be the one saving them and not the actual doctor. And while our health system also has its issues, as in we have long waiting times, our government still does stupid ass things like promoting stuff like that, which inevitably still pushes the people who already are in a bad economical position to continue consuming those things instead of actually lowering the cost of the actual healthy foods. And this all the while we are the producer of such things as Ozempic, right? So because of things like that, I myself right now am starting to get kind of like Shayne, conspiracy pilled, but I try not to. But what's my point again? Yes, RFK Jr. with the weird stuff that's been going on with the CDC, like straight up, I cannot understand that anybody is okay with this. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here, or I am. Let's wait a bit.
That if all I'm doing is reading a script. Anyway, what the hell was I talking about again? I think the best way to illustrate how much longer this script ended up being than I was expecting is that I thought I could finish scripting and filming this piece before going on vacation. I was wrong. So needless to say, this has been more of a journey than I ever fucking wanted it to be, but this is the video you get now. And actually, I think it's a very important one. I'm quite proud of this. So let's just get fucking right into it, I guess. In his videos, Shayne talks a lot about health. But there's a reason that I put health in quotes, because while Shayne does talk a lot about health, he's not really talking about like actual health. He's more kind of talking about like the RFK Jr. scaremongering, you know, vaccines are giving you autism kind of health. Which unfortunately ends up meaning that Shayne will sometimes take very legitimate health concerns and then just turn them into complete bullshit pseudoscience. He often, at the very best, completely misattributes and misrepresents what those issues are coming from and the results of them. Now, to say that health is a pervasive theme in Shayne's videos would be a complete understatement. I mean when I say that this dude can tie literally any topic back to whatever his version of health is.
There's a certain vibe about Argentina. I've never been there. I feel like I may have in a past life or something. We're spraying diquat and all these crazy chemicals in the food, air, and water supply. Breaking news in England, a man punched a man who was holding a baby. Merging yourself with AI makes you superhuman when in fact it makes you inhuman. He literally air caught the ball, threw the baby up, didn't quite fall. Male testosterone levels are off a cliff. Breaking.
What? Okay, so we have your uncle from Argentina. Conspiracy theories already. Random assaults being tied to merging oneself with AI, and then this poor man who caught the ball, did not let go of a baby, is now being tied to the lowering levels of testosterone in man. Huh.
Threw the baby up, didn't quite fall. Male testosterone levels are off a cliff. Breaking Mandela effect news. If you remember this guy, Yosemite Sam, including the fact that they're changing the very DNA of the food we eat. Even if you fall, don't give up. Your pineal gland, your brain function. There's something called cloud ships. Even if you're eating 100% organically, you're getting less than 10% of the full matrix of minerals. Breaking shocking news. This might be fake or edited or AI or something. Calcifies our pineal gland faster than any other tissue in the body.
How?
Breaking news. JFK departures have been grounded due to an aircraft emergency. They really want all of our pineal glands calcified. Breaking news. This is a roller coaster fan.
Mate. Shayne, what is your obsession with the pineal gland? Does he mean the pineal gland? Which, okay, it kind of makes sense now that I'm thinking about it, because it's the whole thing that all of the conspirators, even the Joe Rogan types, will always scream off the top of their lungs, like the third eye within our body that allows us to unlock the understanding of the universe, which is literally just an endocrine gland. As a narcoleptic, I will know this because I have disturbed sleeping rhythm, okay? Just being here right now requires a man's focus.
And reproductive organ function is down. Fertility rates are off a cliff. Discovery of ancient giants' footprint in British Columbia raises an interesting question. Seed oils are good. Fluoride is good. GMOs will feed the world. You can see where things get a little bit sketchy.
You see what I'm talking about, okay? There's no better way to explain this than just by showing it to you. So what is his call to action with all of this fear-mongering? You know, it'd be one thing if he was kind of on this bullshit bandwagon, but the takeaway was like good, legitimate health advice that could actually really help people. But as you could probably guess, if that was the case, then I wouldn't be making this video. So instead of just giving, you know, unsolicited but genuine health advice, Shayne's takeaway from all of his scaremongering is always, without fail, that you should use his promo code to buy supplements.
It's like the saying of, if there were more Christian-like Christians, a lot of atheists, or at least, let's say, more secular humanists, will be out of a job. Because it's not just about preaching about the benefits and or the positive aspects that comes out of certain practices. No, it's all about the fear-mongering and then trying to sell you into some theme park in the sky. But Shayne does that, of course, with conspiracy theories.
Right now we're giving away free chalk. Free chalk to help you get the microplastics and pesticides and herbicides out of your blood and brain. 90% of Americans have atrazine and glyphosate in their blood right now.
Company.
That's the chemical that reverses the gender of frog. Our hot water purified shilajit chalk is giving away freebies today. This is hot water purified, clinically studied to boost fertility for men and women. It's a hormone optimizer. And chalk is giving away free bags of chocolate. This is organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia that stimulates stem cell production. It's super detoxing.
Stimulate stem cell production. My God, bruv. Do you have scientific backing for that? We're talking about what's the amount of families that we have found for stem cells now? There are like 35 or something different families of stem cells. Stimulate all of them. The multipotent, the pluripotent, even the embryonic ones. Like Shayne. Jesus.
Delicious. And if you combine that with hot water purified shilajit, you have some of the most potent superfoods in the natural world. Comment free below and check the
I mean when I say that this guy can take literally any subject on earth and turn it into a promo code to buy like magic bottles of pills and powders.
Disgusting.
Like literally everything from fucking pseudo-archaeology to 9/11 conspiracy theories. It is admittedly equal parts impressive.
Oh yeah. That was literally the first thing.
Completely repulsive to watch Shayne take any conspiracy that he can possibly think of and turn it into a sales pitch to convince paranoid people into buying pills from him.
Comment free below. Comment free below. If you combine that with hot water purified so
look, I understand that there is a certain incentive for most creators now to get promotions. I have done promotions for video games, or sponsorships, would I rather say, not promotions, but those are things that I actually do care about. I display everything to you in meticulous detail to make sure that there is no ambiguity in my statement, that you truly understand that this is something that I truly trust, and you can test yourself if you want to, by then buying the product, of course. Or you don't have to. That's what the review is there for. Because obviously we're all kind of struggling to make certain money. Because obviously we're all kind of struggling to just make ends meet. But there is a huge difference between doing that and just debasing yourself. That's one of the reasons why, although, very funny enough, with the many YouTube sponsorships that have been declared as being just fraudulent out there, just straight up scams, I have refused to promote so much stuff on this very channel, despite me simply just doing, for the most part, reaction videos, because I would feel ashamed if I were to promote something that I know is just straight up dog water to people. Which, by the way, he talks about boiling, what was the thing there? Boiling certified, or?
Americans have atrazine and glyphosate in their blood right now. That's the chemical that reverses the gender of frog. Our hot water purified shilajit.
Hot water purified? Don't you just mean it's been boiled? Shayne, come on.
Comment-free agenda. That stimulates stem cells, super detoxing, and boosts reproductive organs. Comment free below and check your DMs for details. And my thoughts and prayers go out to anyone affected by this freak flood. And I hope they find all those little girls too.
So again, my original plan with these videos was just to go through all of Shayne's conspiracies and just fucking rip them apart, which I am absolutely still doing. I had a great time doing it in the first part, and I have at least 2 more videos worth of his shit to go through. But the more that I looked into this supplement thing, which was originally just supposed to be a footnote, the more I realized that it's, I think, a much bigger problem than I originally thought. And it's my belief, and sort of the thesis of this video, that this pseudo-health misinformation and supplement peddling has more genuine, negative, real-world ramifications than Shayne just saying, you know, dumbass shit about the pyramids. All right, so first and foremost, let's talk about why this footnote ended up earning the spotlight. You guys are also going to have to forgive me that there's going to be a lot of plane noise around here. I think there's a municipal airport somewhere, and so we're getting a lot of airplanes.
Oh, the chemtrails.
Method acting thing, guys. I'm sitting out here to, you know, absorb extra chemtrails just for this video. I even have sunscreen on today, so I'm getting some, you know, I'm absorbing lithium directly into my blood, some heavy metals. Right before this, I mixed some atrazine with a 57th COVID booster, and then I injected it right into my balls. I'm gonna take my phone and I'm gonna...
Oh, now that explains why you're in the sun. You're going to be sunbathing those family jewels. That was one of the weirdest trends that we had in the last few years. Like, people were literally advocating for exposing yourself to melanoma in your testicles. And people were doing that.
Just glue it right to my head. I've also set up an improvised 5G tower right behind you.
Yeah.
And I put a big satellite dish of tinfoil behind it, so it's directing the radiation into my brain. I'm on that conspiracy maxing diet. Because I have a hunch the planes will continue flying around me today instead of doing anything about the audio. When there's planes in the background, editors just add some sort of effect to make part of the joke. You guys are good with the visual gags. I don't know. You can, like, you know those like memes, like the really like fried ass memes of like it's like a baby with like, you know, getting shit injected into its brain, and there's like a 5G tower behind it. It's like one of those crazy conspiracy images. Just do something like that whenever there's the sound of a plane in the background.
Wow. What I come to realize is that every single time that these things happen, this is basically people wanting to live in the world of Warhammer 40k. Yep, that's just how the government just wants to inject you with stuff and turn you into a freaking robot or whatever.
In order to really understand how Shayne ended up earning the spotlight here, we need to understand a little bit about Shayne's audience. Shayne has built an audience by pandering to pretty much every single type of conspiracy theorist or alternate thinker imaginable. From creationism and pseudo-archaeology to, of course, satanic panic.
What's going on in the music industry?
And so I sold my soul to the devil.
To scaremongering about seed oils with things that feel weird and vaguely racist.
Like, look at some of these Chad Indians, man. Like this guy, their jawbones used to be, and it's happening to all of us. It's changing our jaw structure based on what we're eating.
To the
Okay.
tried and true conspiracy classic of transvestigating Michelle Obama.
I'm in therapy right now because I'm transitioning.
Well, there's a lot to unpack here.
To cringy
Really? Are we still doing that?
juvenile manosphere shit. Point is, there seemingly is almost no low that Shayne won't stoop to in the pursuit of expanding his following. Now, every once in a while, Shayne will post a video that has concerns that are actually grounded in reality. Here's a video of him talking about plastic waste in the oceans.
All right, guys, we're cooked. Look at this. Here's an island of plastic in Bali. I thought
Yeah.
it was all sunshine and rainbows over there. Apparently not. Holy Cripenheimer, have you ever seen a beach this plasticky? But let's go to Mars. Woo!
Or this one where he's talking about how a lake sprayed with pesticides had all of the wildlife in it die.
This is what the lake looks like. And putting a chemical in there that makes turtles rise to the surface.
That Freudian slip almost came there. Or that Freudian slip of turning the frogs gay. You all heard that. He was about to say it.
Unalive. We are supposed to be stewards of the land. We are supposed to make the land better for our future children.
Or this one, where he's rightfully upset about how much of the natural land in Florida is being destroyed for housing developments.
Oh yeah.
It's changing the entire ecosystem to a parking lot.
And of course, the more glaring issue is that any charitability I want to give him for occasionally talking about legitimate health concerns is immediately undercut by him using all of these legitimate issues to scaremonger to sell his fucking supplements.
I'm literally detoxing microplastics right now. I'm drinking the Chad mode from Chalk, which is the all-natural pre-workout energy drink that has blue spirulina, which binds to microplastics, heavy metals, pesticides, and more. Same thing with the hot water purified shilajit, clinically.
Are you kidding me? Not only does he peddle his nonsense, but it's also untrue. Like, I don't know if there's anybody who is actually medically competent enough to go through like oh, my gym bro dude brain was just going like, oh, the macros within the different nutrients in that. No. The different components that make up the supplements there. But yeah. We need to have this investigated.
Study to boost hormones, fertility, and more, and detox is microplastic. 90% of us have glyphosate and atrazine in our bloodstream right now. That's why I'm always talking about the hot water purified shilajit, which not only detoxes pesticides and herbicides, but also heavy metals, microplastics, increases brain function. It's pro-fertile. And right now, Chalk is giving away free $100 bags of the chocolate powder, the organic cacao from Bolivia. Comment free below and check your DMs for details. Now, when 90% of Americans have glyphosate in their bloodstream, at what point do we start detoxing? Right now, Chalk is giving away free bags of their lit powder.
So to me, it doesn't really feel like Shane is actually invested in talking about what's true or pertinent. The thing that concerns him the most is talking about whatever will get him the most eyes and scare the most people into buying supplements from him.
Right.
I'll talk about his insane post frequency in just a minute here, but his post frequency combined with this attitude is one of the reasons why in the last video I sort of pinned him as more of a conspiracy slop grifter account than any of the other ones I've talked about. A case that I am still making here and I think will be very clear by the end of this video. Now, the second strategy that Shane uses to build his audience is sheer brute force. There's no way for me to really articulate how crazy his post schedule is, so I think the best thing I can do is show you a graph. I can do is show you a graph.
Yeah, like we did establish, right, that he started not too long ago. Now, his investigation would have started here, Milo's that is, in 2025. What the hell happened in June? My dude, look. Was it the tariffs? Was it the Trump administration going like, oh, we're gonna change your 401k, so dude had to pay a mortgage or whatever? What the fuck is that?
Look at this graph. When I started scripting the first part of this video in May, I was floored at how many videos this dude would pump out every single day. There'd be days where he'd post like 4 or 5 times, and it was almost completely impossible to keep up with bullshit at that volume.
Yeah, that's still a lot. I kind of failed to mention that part, man, but still.
But then, somehow, it got so much worse. I don't know what the fuck happened at the beginning of June. Maybe Shane had like a mortgage payment due, or he was investing in an industrial-sized roll of tinfoil to wrap his head with, but he went fucking sicko mode. My man started posting 10 and sometimes 15 times every single day.
Oh my
There was
God.
a day towards the end of June where he posted 30 fucking videos in a single day. Yes, some of them are reposts, and of course all of them are very low effort, but the sheer volume of these videos that he is making, especially now, is something that I can barely even like get my nails into. This is the way that Shane has grown his audience, by pandering to genuinely every conspiracy theory imaginable and making an inconceivable amount of videos.
How do you sleep at night? Ayo. The thing, I think Milo kind of alluded to that, or may actually have made the joke last time, but how do we explain that to somebody? Like, already now, as a content creator online, I'm kind of like, I don't quite want to explain what my job is. Making reaction videos, occasionally educating people on certain subjects and covering pop culture and all scientific subjects. Yeah, I think that a person can kind of understand me doing that? But I have side gigs too, right? I educate as well whenever I'm called in and there's like a shift that I can take. But still, how do you explain to people that what you do on the daily is to go on the internet, peddle nonsense, and doing that 30 times a day? That is brutal. Oh God, that will mess up my own psyche.
And this strategy seems to work very well. From what I've seen,
We're
he's
right to be
covered pretty
Shane.
much every conspiracy imaginable, but the better indicator of this is that there's actually a couple of my friends that follow this guy, and these people are like level-headed, like environmental science people that I went to school with. So I know they're not following him because of the fucking, you know, 9/11 conspiracies, but because they are sort of alternate lifestyle people like myself, they probably saw some of his videos talking about pesticides and things like that that seemed a little bit more rational and started following him. This is a great example of how Shane has been able to sort of cast this immense net to be able to pull people in from a lot of different viewpoints, and as a result amass an impressive and slightly concerning following of 680,000 followers on Instagram. And by the time this video is in production, let's be honest, it's probably going to be like fucking 800,000.
Your opinion is protected by them. Mine gets my account deleted at 1 million followers in 2021.
Oh. Rumble. Why am I not surprised?
I also wrote here that while writing this part of the script, my girlfriend's dog tried to chase a chipmunk, and I yelled after her. Her name is Lupin, but I accidentally called her Shayne. I don't know what the implication of that is, but I think that this is actually beginning to have psychological effects on me.
I mean, if it's Lupin after the criminal Lupin, he has this innate ability to always masquerade as other people. So could be that Lupin was pulling a trick on you. At the moment where you went looking, the dog kind of like slipped the Shane mask on. Look back at you and were like, "Gotcha, bitch!" Oh my God, that is such a dumb plot, but yeah, that makes just as much sense as the stuff that Shane is peddling.
So anyway, it is to this sizable audience of more than 500,000 people that Shane levies his supplement sales pitches. Now, I figured if I was going to sit down and waste an entire day of my precious life going through Shane's Instagram account and making a graph of how many videos he's posted every day for the entire year, I could at least add another variable in to make it more worth my while. And so that's exactly what I did. So here is that same graph, also illustrating how many of Shane's videos per day had a direct promotion for supplements. As you can see, that's a fucking lot. And with the increased video post frequency that started in June, his promotions for supplements went up as well. And at this point, where he begins posting well over 10 videos almost every single day, almost every single one of them is a promotion for supplements. And in the 4 days between June 6th and June 10th, all 70 of the videos that Shane posted were promotions for supplements.
And what is his return into this? Like, holy shit. Like, they give you a commission, you make what, like 30? That's being generous. 20% in returns? Plus perhaps a fee already. Dude. Ew, that's disgusting.
And just real quick, these 4 days just contain a delightful cocktail of video topics. We have Shane promoting a real stand-up human being, none other than known sex trafficker Andrew Tate, in a video where he's saying that Russia is a bastion of free speech.
Oh, I was so close to thinking Epstein, but yeah, this is just as bad.
Do you know how many people were arrested for posts on social media in Russia last year? No. 380. Do you know how many people were arrested for posts on social media in England last year? No. Over 4,000. So where are you allowed to speak?
The restrictions on freedom of speech and even freedom of expression are spreading across the Western world, including...
Excuse you, buddy. There is a clear discussion to be had about censorship that I guess a lot of the internet is doing as of now. And especially in the UK. The laws are being applied there and the way that they're being handled are rather strict. But it's also because there are specific cases of absolute knobheads who are just doing the same thing that you're doing right now, spreading conspiracy theories about things that make no sense. But using Tate, the Tate himself, as the exact... No.
Including even the US, they have some laws cooking up. Although right now it is one of the freest places in the world that you can speak, there are still ways they can try to get you.
Gotta love that. You're a real freedom-loving American right there, Shane, aren't you? Here in America, we just can't say anything. He says while posting fucking 30 videos that are just complete bullshit every single day. Damn, bro, they're really censoring you. This video of some jackass claiming that Trump and Elon Musk have evidence that the moon landing didn't happen.
This is crazy if true.
First things that Trump did, he had a moon rock in the Oval Office. He said remove that from the Oval Office. Oh, he knows the moon missions are fake. Elon Musk knows the moon missions are fake.
But most notably, in this 4-day stretch, an overwhelming majority of videos where Shane is just like passively fear-mongering about the ongoing protests against fucking ICE detentions.
What? If I walked into China or Japan and they had a task force to kick illegals out, but I snuck in and I was living there. And then they want to kick me out. Is it brave to band together with the other people who got in there illegally, into China, let's say illegally, and protest the immigration task force? Or would that be stupid?
Are you dumb? Oh, fuck. What has the internet done to people's minds? I'm not even going to be doing the whole argument on empathy right now, because that's been lost. The very that was mentioned before has been one of the clear examples that's been mimified of him going like, yeah, empathy is the worst thing that have ever happened to the West.
The fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy.
Says the guy who always cries about how people are not loving him enough and always wants to be in people's good sides. But no, we're literally talking about your fellow citizens who are protesting authoritarian behavior. But no.
I want to be laying low right now.
I saw a Mexican
not
flag.
Making myself known. I'd be putting my freaking nose to the grindstone and laying low, not drawing any attention to myself. Boston protests are kicking off, and someone was commenting about just the visual appearance of a lot of the protesters and how it fits certain categories and all this, but all I know is people on both sides of the fence have very strong opinions.
Wow, you're a real fucking class act there, Shane. Shane, I hope you know that if we were in the revolution, you would have been on the side of the fucking redcoats. I demand my freedom, and I want small government, which is why I am in favor of an authoritarian state. Jesus H. Christ, how do people like this call themselves fucking patriots? Super aware of the propaganda and the agenda of the elites that seek to divide us. Become an unquestioning mouthpiece for the propaganda and an obedient foot soldier for the agenda of the elites that actually seek to divide us. Fucking Christ, this guy is just, he's just delightful. I'll talk about this a little more maybe in another video or something, but in these really kind of just gross topics that Shane has, he'll really pussyfoot around saying like the really shitty stuff and sort of instead just allows his audience to say the really gross things in the comment section.
I can tell you guys, as much as I love to engage and go live and discuss with you guys, I do not and cannot and am physically incapable of keeping track of comments, especially when posting over 10 videos a day.
I think he's trying to go for the whole plausible deniability thing of like, hey guys, I'm just asking questions here. I think there's some very legitimate concerns to be had about these people flying flags of a different country on American soil. I'm just concerned about our patriotism. And then the people in the comments are like, yeah, fucking kill them all. Shane, if you got people in your comments that are saying shit like this, like, brother, that's on you, bro. You're making the audience where people are saying this.
Yep, you are fostering that.
But anyway, my whole point with all of this is that in this stretch of videos, all of them, every single one is a promotion for supplements. All of them, even those ones, all of them, every single one, all 70 in 4 days is a promotion for fucking supplements. Okay, that brings me to the next part of the video, which is called Shane Sells Supplements. How'd I end up back in here? It was so nice out there. As a content creator, I'm constantly conflicted by trying to run this as a business, but also trying to maintain my integrity. I had hoped that this section would be able to be an ad read for my favorite supplement company. But unfortunately, due to the content of this video, I don't think they'd like that very much. And so unfortunately, I'm sorry to say I've had to settle on really good art for you guys. I hope you guys are okay with this. I know that hot water purified Shilajit was what you really wanted, but I hope that you'll at least settle for the Milo Rossi sticker pack, if that's okay with you. It's got 3 different Google Debunker-inspired seals and badges, so that everyone can know that you've sworn your allegiance to the mainstream agenda. And as if that wasn't enough, we also got this one, a little schmink sticker. Since I can't give you a real schmink, you're gonna have to deal with this one. It's 2D and sticky, which the real
that's such a name to give a cat.
And along with that, we also got this bad boy right here, the Stay Curious hoodie design. Check that out, that's pretty nice, right? This beautiful design comes for the first time on a green hoodie, which is kind of cool, as well as our classics, whatever color this is, white, tan, beige, eggshell even, as well as black, which I don't have, so here is a superimposed image of it. And for those of you like me who are not planning for winter but are standing there sweating right now, this design also comes in t-shirts. So you can still sport this design and get your guns out. All of these designs were made by my wonderful partner, a real live artist without a single AI involved. And as part of my pledge to support actual human art, a portion of each sale goes directly to the artist. So if you want to help support me and the rest of the team, as well as be able to sport some really nice merch that nobody will know is actually merch because it doesn't just have an ugly YouTuber logo slapped across it, well, now you can. All sales are, of course, genuinely and deeply appreciated. It really helps me continue doing what I do here, and I hope that you guys get something really nice out of it that you can cherish. Link to those is in the description of this video. Give it a click and open it in another tab so you don't forget. I'll wait. Do it. Do it and then come back to this video. Seriously though, thank you all very much for your support as always, and now let's get right back into it. Oh yeah, do you guys hear that? Wow. You know that scene in the HBO Chernobyl miniseries where everyone's like looking up and the radioactive ash is falling on their face? That's how I feel now whenever I look at an airplane. Thanks to all the cool information I learned from Shane Vibes on Instagram. So I know that I just gave Shane a bit of the riot act here, and believe me, that is just the beginning. We have merely scratched the surface. But I want to take a minute at the beginning of this video to express out front that I actually share a lot of the same concerns that Shane does. Food systems and our modern medical system are both things that I am also very passionate about, and I believe desperately need fucking reform. They are both symptoms of massive systemic problems in this country, and there are more than a few very needed conversations to be had about them. I have an absolute disdain for our modern, globalized, and mechanized food system. While I do understand that industrial agriculture is the only thing that's allowing society to exist at the scale that we have it, I think that it is a crime against the planet. Oh yeah, give me that shit. Bill Gates, I can smell it. There's COVID vaccine coming out of that airplane. The damage that pesticides, fungicides, and herbicides do to the natural world and to humans is completely unquestionable. And the immense natural diversity that this country once had has been completely fucking obliterated and replaced with corn and soybeans and wheat, which planted over and over and over again has completely drained the soil of all of its nutrients.
All of its diversity.
Whole thing about a functioning ecosystem, the soil actually stays healthy, and there's agricultural practices where, you know, you can keep the soil healthy naturally. No, that doesn't make enough money, so let's throw some fucking chemicals on it. What do you mean all those chemical fertilizers are running into the water and choking entire ecosystems to death? Who gives a shit? The fertilizer is making me a lot of money. Oh, and would you look at that? I killed everything that eats all the insects and then put out a limitless buffet of food. I can't believe I have so many pests. How could I deal with this? Could I encourage biodiversity so that things are naturally controlling the population of these pests? No. We should spray it with chemical pesticides. That's a fucking great idea. Wait, those chemical pesticides that we're spraying on the things we eat are ending up in our food and in our water and in all of the natural ecosystems around us? What? The thing that I wanted to just kill the thing I don't like doesn't just kill the thing I don't like and kills fucking everything as well? What? Actually, wait.
So, like, this is one of the reasons why I understand the concern that some people will have. And that's one that I share as well. As I've said in the previous video as well, we are not exactly living completely alternative, but we are striving towards something of the sort by trying to plant our own stuff, doing our own gardening now, and living away from the city, which in the future we might actually be moving into the city, but as of now, with our kid right now, we want to provide her with the best possible options, which is essential, especially like how I mentioned at the start of the video, our government isn't exactly doing the same thing. They say a lot of words about how we need to improve the health of the citizens of the country, yet still they are doing quite the opposite. But I also think that people need to stop conflating healthy skepticism with a straight up distrust of every single thing that has been proven. Just like how people have such a disdain for GMO, genetically modified fruit or vegetable, which actually makes it so that we can use less preservatives, less additive, less fertilizer to grow the goddamn thing. And all of this, again, based on something that was debunked from like a French rat study. And it's so weird. But granted, again, if we're looking at a country like the US, where people are already overworked and are thus not going to be able to spend time researching stuff because they have to work 2 jobs and are already too exhausted when they come home, and all they care about is just to relax and put on something that is going to distract them from the mundane life, coming across a conspiracy theory that ends up fear-mongering you is just the easiest transition to becoming like somebody like Shane.
I take it all back. I don't give a shit because it's making someone a lot of money. So you end up with a system that totally fucks us all. The farmers are beholden to a really terrible system that they didn't create, because if they're going to be able to compete with industrialized farms at all, they have no choice but to pesticide and fertilize and squeeze every ounce of productivity out of their land.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to buy seeds from fucking Monsanto that, like, patented the genomes of seeds. The whole thing is that they don't produce fertile seeds on their own, so farmers can't just replant from their own crops. So every fucking year, they have to buy new seeds from Monsanto because they're the fucking devil. Oh yeah, and the patented GMO seeds that Monsanto has, if you plant them without their permission, or if your crops cross-pollinate with your neighbor that's using those GMO seeds, you can face charges for copyright infringement. How the fuck is it even possible we live at a time where people can patent the genome of a plant? I don't fucking know. Is it the most dystopian shit I've heard all day? Absolutely. But
yeah, and there's another aspect of it. Like, okay, some will realize that it's not worth fear-mongering for GMO, and then they want to engage in actually planting GMO seeds. But ho-ho, there's this bloody company who is patenting the goddamn thing.
But who gives a shit, because it's making someone a lot of money? Organic and nutritious food just simply isn't a viable business model, and so all of the rest of us pay the price. Packaged foods, ultra-processed foods, and fast foods are oftentimes more affordable and more accessible than any organic alternative. These systems disproportionately prey on disenfranchised, marginalized, and impoverished communities, and is one of the many prongs of the systemic oppression that we see in this country. You'd have to be fucking concussed to not see it. I mean, hell, even fucking Shane sees it. These processed and fast foods may fill us up physically, but they might not nutritionally. And in the long term, exposure to these sugars and preservatives and growth hormones could and does have very negative effects on our health. So it's our responsibility as citizens to find ways to work with our community to overthrow this fucking system, to find ways to encourage people to go back to community and to, you know, do small-scale gardening within their communities and to make organic food more accessible. Identifying a broken system is the easy part. Breaking it is the one that takes a little bit of extra fucking legwork. But hey, if it helps you sleep at night, don't worry about the fucking growth hormones and sodium nitrate that might be making you unhealthy, because at the end of the day, if you're unhealthy, it's gonna make someone a lot of money. I'm not gonna talk about the medical system too much, I swear, just for the sake of time in this video, but believe me when I say I'm not a fan of that either. The fact that we have a for-profit medical system is actually one of the most fucking barbaric things imaginable, really. I think having a for-profit system could encourage temporary fixes over actual cures. After all, if you're making money off of every time you have to treat someone, a healthy person is not a profitable business model. And I think there's a disproportionate emphasis put on medicating problems rather than trying to identify and solve the underlying issues that cause those problems. Like, you know, if someone's like, oh yeah, I'm working fucking 50 hours a week and barely making enough money to put fucking food on the table, and you know, I'm really depressed. Obviously, they should have access to antidepressants, but we should also take a big step back and be like, oh, maybe this system really sucks shit. Maybe our natural state of mind shouldn't be panicked desperation at all times. And that said, medications are an amazing thing to have. They have saved God knows how many lives of people that I know personally. And I'm not blindly encouraging everyone to just be like, guys, pharmaceuticals are the answer to everything. Just don't try for any systemic change and just keep taking pills. Absolutely not. There's a fucking happy medium in here somewhere.
Yeah, as I will state again, I am a rather healthy individual, I would like to say so myself, unlike my own mom, who is more or less like the nightmare of a hypochondriac. She has contracted God knows what now, because she suffered from some malady that the doctors just can't figure out what is exactly. I've been spared from the fate of my parents. My dad also died of cancer when I was a teen. So my body has been fine, and actually surviving quite a lot of things that I should not have. But with a partner who has some pretty severe ADHD, who is bound to medication, and knowing what it is that the things, the highs and the lows that affect a person like that, just to be able to function on a daily basis, and in a society like ours that is always urging you to be as effective as possible, yes, this is not right. And I'm mentioning these two cases, especially my mom and my partner, because for the very first time in my life was I exposed to like immense consumption of medication. I got mortified the first time that I got to see the cocktail of medication that my girlfriend had to take. So the points that Milo is making right here is one that I wholeheartedly stand behind.
That said, I have an overwhelming amount of faith in the modern medical system. Not because it's, big mainstream modern medicine, but because of the diligent work of the countless brilliant minds in the field who are genuinely motivated by wanting to make the world a better place. Modern medicine is an absolute fucking miracle to which there is truly no parallel on the planet. And so while I have problems with, the modern medical industry and the pharmaceutical industry, I am all for the groundbreaking research and developments in modern medicine that is literally the reason all of us are here right now. I love me a bowl of chicken soup and a mug of hot tea, and I do think there's something to be said for alternative medicines. But
none of that will change a vaccine.
For modern, researched, proven medical practices. Anyway, that was a bit of a fucking ramble, but I really wanted to share where I stand on these topics of health, because I know that if Shane or any of his diehards are watching something like this, it'll be far too easy to just pin me as being like, oh, there's Milo. He's one of those guys who's like, yes, Bill Gates, pump me full of pharmaceuticals. Just serve me 15 Big Macs. I'm gonna, I have a Camelback with white Monster in it that I'm just chugging at all times. No, that's not me at all. I'm also a complete fucking hippie when it comes to this shit, okay? But I'm a hippie with a fucking functioning brainstem.
All right.
Perfect timing for the chemtrail. That one smells like jet fuel. So while here I have identified the places that me and Shane's ideas and ideologies overlap, this is where the similarities end. Shane, like many conspiracy theorists, identifies very legitimate symptoms of a problem and then completely misunderstands what that problem is and misattributes it to something and goes completely off the rails trying to understand it.
Where we vary on that subject is that I believe it's nefarious, and I guess he believes it's more like just corporate greed, which could be considered nefarious. But I think that the agrochemical companies at the tip top are completely hand in hand with the other elements of control in the world today that are going on. I believe it's intentional to basically affect humans negatively. And you could say on the first level, it's like, oh, because you make them sick and then you profit because they're sick and then they need to go to big pharma. That's one level. I think it's deeper than that. I don't think this is profit derived. I don't think this is profit driven. I think that this extends past that. But anyways, we actually agree. We quite agree on this issue.
See, when Shane's talking about these health issues, even the ones that him and I agree on, he's not really talking about the actual systemic problems that they are, or the actual reasons these health problems exist. Instead, he's talking about chemtrails and fluoride and vaccine misinformation and how 5G is a mind control device. I talk a lot about pseudoscience and misinformation, particularly in kind of the field of pseudo-archaeology. And it'll be no surprise to you that my general thesis on pseudo-archaeology is that it's a bad thing. But if pseudo-archaeology is a bad thing, pseudo-health can be outright dangerous. See, most of Shane's health-related fear-mongering has pretty much no scientific basis whatsoever. From 5G as a mind control, to fluoride calcifying our pineal gland, to atrazine being put in our food to turn us all into women or something.
Don't get me wrong, pseudo-archaeology can be plenty harmful on the broader scientific point, but especially on the cultural point, I will say, because there are genuine people who are being affected by this, actual countries like we got to see with Philip Zeba. But I don't mean to downplay archaeology here, but I would say that the direct effects on people are lesser on archaeology than it is on actual pseudo-health peddling. Because that's when you dive into the anti-vax. That's how you dive into straight-up legislation, like what we've been seeing with the CDC, like what we've been seeing with the outbreak of measles again. Fucking measles. So yeah, Shane might not realize this, but the stuff that he's saying is plenty harmful.
After all, as far as I know, Shane has absolutely no medical knowledge whatsoever, and it fucking shows.
Have you got any info on CPAP machines and microplastics? Straight to the brain. Well, let me Google what the hell CPAP is. Is that like a pap smear?
Because he will rattle off.
Oh my god, Shane. You were the one talking about it. Continuous positive CPAP, continuous positive airway pressure.
Pretty much any pseudo-health conspiracy imaginable completely uncritically. Shane, of course, being an open-minded and critical thinker, blindly trusts all of these conspiracy theories because they support his pre-existing worldview. And then, of course, following that train of logic, he expects his audience to trust him more than, you know, the knowledge of every doctor on the entire planet, despite him not having any medical experience and falling for pretty much every single conspiracy under the sun. I'd almost believe he wasn't a massive grifter more if there was like a few conspiracies that he didn't believe in.
Right.
Like, even with Philip Zeba, there was a few things where he'd be like, okay, this one's just ridiculous. And granted, it was stuff like, you know, the Hollow Earth that is literally as ridiculous as you can possibly get. But like, at least even Philip had like a threshold where he was like, okay, like, this has gone a little far.
Like I said, this is the best promo for Philip ever.
Shane doesn't really seem to have that. He will believe any information so long as it wasn't said by someone with any credibility. Now, this pseudo-health misinformation is obviously very bad on its own, but this is only really the first part of this problem. See, if he was promoting all of this pseudo-health bullshit, but then was at least giving, like, actual health advice afterwards, I would feel a little bit more sympathy towards it. Because then at least even if he's full of shit, like, people might be taking away, you know, good positive things from it and making actually some positive health change in their life. But he isn't encouraging people to, eat more organic foods and go on more walks and get better sleep. Instead, the big takeaway from all of his fear-mongering every single time without fail is that if you want to do something about these issues, well then you gotta use my promo code to buy supplements. See, most of the folks I've discussed are directly financially invested in the spread of misinformation. They make videos about pseudoscience bullshit, and then they profit from it through ad revenue and building their following and allowing them to go on podcasts and shit. Now, this is absolutely the case with Shane, don't get me wrong, but Shane takes it a step further. See, Shane is not only profiting off of the creation of pseudoscientific misinformation videos, but he is then using those misinformation videos as a sales pitch to sell pills. This gives Shane's whole internet presence a sort of, like, MLM snake oil scam vibe that is pretty unique in the people I've talked about here. Farming engagement through clickbait and fear-mongering is bad, but fear-mongering and then marketing that you have the solution is much, much worse.
Well, if there's... No, actually, no, you don't, because you have people... Your followers are spreading that around. I was about to say that you are taking at least some people off of the pyramid of the multi-level marketing pyramid, but you don't. It spreads it even further because now it's just straight up online and you can push it onto as many people as you want.
The outcome of this sales pitch is you now have scared, paranoid people purchasing and ingesting a product that they likely know very little about. And the tone and approach that Shane has to these videos, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly, works absolutely perfectly to prey on paranoid, fearful people. And potentially on folks who, due to the failings of the system, are lower income and are therefore less trusting of the systems as they feel like they have been failed by them.
Yeah.
This means that Shane's supplement sales pitches are perfectly calibrated to target people who are both societally and financially vulnerable, leading people from these groups to put their trust and money towards a product that they know very little about for reasons that may or may not even be true. To illustrate this point, I'd like to share a comment with you that I found on one of Shane's videos. I wish I could, but I can't afford it, so I just pray for God to give me strength. This genuinely breaks my fucking heart. It is so fucking unfair for this person to be made to feel as though them and their family are in immediate danger and that they don't have any power to do anything about it because they don't have enough money. This, like, genuinely turns my fucking stomach. I don't have another way to put it. This isn't a person who's been empowered to take action. This is someone that has been scared and then told that the only cure is something that is inaccessible to them. It is the type of sales pitch that is perfectly suited to picking the pockets of people who are already terrified by fanning the flames of their paranoia. I really want to, in good faith, believe that Shayne and this company are not marketing things in this way for this reason, and that they aren't knowingly like sitting together and being like, how can we prey on poor people? And I'm sure that if Shayne were to respond to this in any way, it would be some sort of dismissal, and he would say that this isn't intentional or that I'm reading into it too much. But personally, I don't really give a fuck, because put bluntly, your intentions do not matter at all.
They don't matter.
The only thing that matters is the results.
You do.
And these are the fucking results. No, I don't know anything about this company, Chalk.com. I'm not a doctor or a health specialist. This is completely out of my wheelhouse. So I'm not going to sit here and try and tell you whether or not the supplements on the Chalk website actually do the things that they claim to do. But what I am here to tell you is my opinion. And my opinion is that when I see a product that is advertised with a sales pitch like this, it sets off some fucking alarm bells.
Bags of chocolate powder to help people's brains during the spiritual war. This is organic cacao from Bolivia. It stimulates stem cell production. It's believed to decalcify the pineal gland. It boosts oxytocin production, and it boosts your gut microbiome massively. Plus, it's delicious. Kids can have it as well. The Chalk Shilajit that's in the Chalk Daily. This is the #1 supplement for men that boosts total testosterone 21% in 90 days. Plus, as a hormone optimizer, it increases fertility. For ladies, the hot water purified Shilajit, which is believed to decalcify the pineal gland. It detoxes heavy metals, microplastics, pesticides, glyphosate, atrazine, major reproductive organ function enhanced, and it's healthy hair, skin, and nails. It boosts your endocrine function. Not only is this pro-fertile, it's a hormone optimizer. It boosts testosterone for men, balance hormones for women, and increases brain function as well. And it induces neurogenesis, the production of new brain cells.
See, I can't tell you what these supplements do. Maybe they're good, maybe they're bad, maybe they're just completely inert. I have no fucking idea. But what I do know is that I have absolutely no trust at all in someone who peddles widely debunked pseudoscience and health misinformation and then tries to sell me a solution to it. See, in the United States, supplements and vitamins are regulated under something called the DSHEA, or the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act.
What is the FCC? Okay. Never mind.
Which means that the manufacturers of vitamins and supplements are the ones who need to make sure that they actually work as advertised and are safe. Yes. The biggest implication of this is that products that fall under the DSHEA do not have to have any pre-market approval by the FDA.
Yes.
You know, the Food and Drug Administration, the group in charge of testing the safety of, you know, pharmaceuticals and food. Now again, I'm definitely not saying that I put my 100% trust in the FDA. Like I said earlier, they definitely have their issues, but I trust them a whole hell of a lot more than a random guy on Instagram literally wearing tinfoil on his head.
It's the same as those people who had those private injection companies, med spas, that's what they're called, that have been conducting a lot of non-FDA approved operations, and are just quite literally, a lot of them are quite literally unlawful, and plus with super low regulation. These are the vibes this gives me.
The fact that vitamins and supplements don't have to be regulated by the FDA is one of the reasons why you see so many vitamin and supplement scams, because these products don't have to undergo very rigorous testing before going on the market. And so when someone tries to sell you a pill or a powder that they claim is going to solve all of your problems, normally you're just kind of supposed to take their fucking word for it. And again, I'm not saying this is the case with all vitamins and supplements, and I don't even really know if that's the case here. But again, alarm bells. Remember, we're critically thinking here, people. You're supposed to be, sifting information as it enters your brain. The fact that these supplements are probably unregulated by the FDA, of course, will not matter at all to Shayne's potential buyers. Like any other pseudoscientist health nut, Shayne does a lot of fear-mongering about the FDA, and so in a weird ass-backwards way, the fact that these supplements aren't approved by the FDA almost becomes a selling point. Oh yeah, that one's going right overhead. That's the good stuff. I think they're spraying me with oh god, it's working. Anyway, Shayne makes some really bold claims about the supplements he's selling. From detoxing microplastics and heavy metals and atrazine and pesticides to decalcifying your pineal gland and increasing brain function. These pills and products seem to be pretty much capable of doing anything.
The higher your frequency is, the more you detox, the higher your vibrational frequency rate. Well, that attracts higher vibrational people.
I was fearing that he was going to do that. And so that's where it is. It attracts people who are on the same vibration as you.
Circumstances and opportunities. After Aloha and Selena started taking their chalk, Selena got hired at her dream job. And Aloha got offered a gig for $250,000 a year.
Wow, Shane. Wow. Why don't you take that supplement and stop spreading the misinformation? You'll be set for life, dude. Why don't you do that, bro? No, but I need to save you. I need to save your pineal gland.
Literally like 8 days into taking his chalk. It could be coincidence, but is there any coincidences?
Now, as far as this company, Chalk, goes, again, I'm not a doctor, I don't really know anything about this. But my issue isn't really with this company. In fairness, some of the compounds advertised on their site seem to actually do have actual research backing them up. For example, Tonkat Ali and Shilajit complex do have actual proven research showing that it could increase testosterone in men. And from what I've seen on their website and from the limited understanding that I have of their products, I haven't seen anything that's like blatantly false advertising. But again, this isn't my wheelhouse, and I would be very interested if there's any other creators out there that specialize in health-related things to have a little bit of a deeper look at this. If you guys know any creators that you feel like this would be in their wheelhouse, maybe let them know about this video or tell them to get in touch or share it with me in the comments or something, and I'll get in touch.
Perhaps Dr. Mike from Renaissance Fitness, at least as one of the few individuals who I know has a tendency of breaking down the content of fitness supplements.
Touch with them, and maybe I'll do a little piece with them in the next one, because I would like to look into this a little more, but I just don't understand it.
But he's kind of crazy with AI as of late.
Opinion on this. Here's my question. Why in the fuck would you, as a company, be okay with your product being promoted through widely debunked and harmful misinformation? If a company is selling products that they claim are good for your health, and they're okay with those products being marketed by a guy who's pushing a ton of, vaccine misinformation, I don't really have the utmost faith that that company has the best interests of my health in mind. If I was going in to get an operation and I overheard one of the surgeons talking about how they didn't believe in germ theory, I probably wouldn't go through with that operation. Okay, it's getting really hot out here. I think I'm gonna finish this at another point, because I'm roasting. Oh no, the cloud seeding.
The other day.
These clips were only filmed 30 seconds apart, guys. And in that time, there was a bunch of fucking airplanes and the contrails. It just changed the weather immediately. Remember, guys, I'm a critical thinker. I don't believe in climate change, but I do believe in the Jewish weather space laser. Okay, what the fuck was I?
Oh, a Marjorie Titan Green point. She was being extremely anti-Semitic not too long ago, and then now she's like, oh no, we need to protect Israel. Flip-flopping like a freaking magic harp.
Talking about again. Now, this is not Shayne's company, and I think it's important while talking about this to sort of be able to separate the two, because Shayne is just an affiliate or a sponsor of this company and their products. Now, according to the company website, this means that Shayne could be getting about 20% of the proceeds from all of the sales that he makes with people using his promo code. I work in the creator space too, guys, as you could probably tell, and let me tell you, that's a pretty fucking good cut. I obviously don't really know the terms and conditions that Shane Vibes and Chalk put to paper when they decided to do these partnerships. So maybe he's getting a flat rate on top of this, maybe he's not, maybe it's just percentages, I don't really know. Whatever the cut is that he's getting from sales, I think is fair in the grand scheme of things, but the reason the cut concerns me is not because of how much it is, it's the fact that it incentivizes him to just keep pushing this shit
pumping
as
much as
possible. Which means that there is a colossal conflict of interest here. I'm so pissed off, I'm putting my hair down, goddammit. See, this isn't just like a normal sponsorship, like, a creator promoting a VPN or something. Obviously, a creator under an agreement like that is incentivized to say good things about the product so people buy it, so they get clicks and all that stuff. But the conflict of interest arises here in that Shayne is financially invested in continuing to promote misinformation about people's health. Because if people are then scared by this health disinformation, they will be more likely to buy his supplements that he will then get a cut of. So his anecdotes about health through all of his videos are not motivated by, research and honesty, or even as a direct stakeholder in the company who is invested in making sure that this product is promoted accurately and fairly. Instead, all of these anecdotes are motivated by him needing to sell more supplements supplements by any means necessary. And he will seemingly say pretty much anything to push that envelope. It doesn't matter if there's any evidence that chemtrails are decreasing your sperm count, or if this bottle of pills is going to do anything about that problem, whether or not it does exist. But what does matter is that if what he's saying is convincing enough and scary enough, people might want to buy these supplements. And big man Shane could be getting 20% of that. In essence, the way I see it, Shane is making probably a pretty good living off of manufacturing a problem and then selling you the solution to it. And so he is incentivized to push this as hard as fucking possible. Shane is personally and financially invested in the spread of dangerous misinformation, not only as the subject of his content, but as a sales pitch for a product that he will directly profit off of. Audience think about this. After all, they are the ones who are exposed to this non-stop barrage of ads. As you'll probably be disappointed, but not all that surprised to know, a lot of the videos where he's promoting these things have comments that are full of people using his, type in free in the comments to get more information. But I've also started to notice a trend that there is an increasing amount of his audience that are starting to get wise to the fact that almost
waking up to the lies.
It's hilarious how every video on this account says basically nothing and then is ultimately just an ad for some supplements.
Oh, just
what
the
a
ad,
sellout.
okay.
I love how you take any chance to advertise your product anywhere. This whole channel is a fear-mongering ad for a supplement brand, lol. I love it. Me too, dude. I also love it. I love it so much that I'm making fucking multiple videos about this shit. Jesus Christ. Never fucking thought this would be what I'm doing with my life, but this is what I'm doing with my life. I hope it's making some kind of fucking difference. Even if I can make just one person smile, oh my fucking God. If I can make just one person see this video and think to themselves, maybe I shouldn't just buy a bottle of pills from some guy online because he told me that my balls are gonna fall off, then it will have all been worth it. Now, when Shane started to get a little bit of pushback from his audience for, grifting too close to the sun, he started to change his tone a little bit. I noticed that towards the end of June, Shane was still posting fucking constantly, literally constantly. But around this point, only about half of the promotions in his videos were for chalk supplements. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. Maybe Shane thought to himself, look, I'm, peddling dangerous misinformation here, so maybe I'll just, do it like half the time.
Or perhaps the company decided that no more.
Or maybe Shane was like, my audience seems to not really be reacting well to me peddling these products all the time. And so reading the room for my audience, maybe I'll tone it down a little bit out of respect for them to show that I'm actually listening to them. I was at least hoping it was, something like that. I don't know why I would hope it would be something like that. Perhaps that's foolish of me. So I looked into this pattern a little bit more to see what the deal was with these videos where he wasn't promoting supplements. And I found that I was giving him way too much credit once again. See, on paper, yes, about half the videos that Shane was posting around this time period did not include a direct promotion for supplements. Ah, there we go, day 2 of chemtrails. Fuck yeah. This makes me want to eat some lab-grown beef and wash it down with a big milkshake, just all soy milk. As it turns out, in these videos, Shane was promoting something new. And that was, of course, to come check out his real truth bombs over on where the fuck else but right social media cesspool, Rumble. At this point, guys, I felt like I was hitting a fucking wall. I was like, I have been working on this fucking series for literally like 3 months. This goddamn guy will not stop posting videos. I literally cannot even watch through all the shit he posts. Every video I watch of his takes like fucking at least 2 months off of my life. And now I learned that he's going live on Rumble every single day for 3 fucking hours. I was like, I finally met a fucking guy that talks even more than I do. And I don't even know if I can keep up with this shit. Safe to say, I felt like my exposure to Shane was beginning to reach like toxic levels. Like it was beginning to accumulate in my body and breach my blood-brain barrier. Seeing as detoxing from Shane's poisonous misinformation was not one of the advertised features of hot water purified shilajit from chalk, I was at a complete loss for what to do. I was not keen on really hearing anything else this guy had to say, especially in a shithole like Rumble. But I knew that if I was gonna do this story justice, I had to take one for the team. But before I could take one for the team, my team took one for me. One morning I woke up and I opened up my laptop and I was getting ready to start working and I had a message from one of my editors. And it read something along the lines of, me and some of the team tuned in to watch one of Shane's Rumble live streams last night. And Milo, you're gonna fucking love this.
Let's get ready to rumble!
What my team ended up sending me was a 15-minute highlight reel of one of Shayne's Rumble live streams that was 3 hours long. Okay, technically this recording came from Twitter and not from Rumble, but I would assume that it was probably the same live stream on both platforms since Shayne has not seemingly mastered the ability to manipulate time. I'm so pissed off I'm putting my hair back up now. I went into this not really knowing what to expect from a Shane Vibes live stream, and somehow, despite that, I was still surprised by it. Okay, so firstly, the strategy that Shayne uses in his shorts to push his Rumble live streams is really funny. It's almost the exact same script as the one where he's selling supplements, just with a few minor modifications. With the supplement pitches, he'll end his video by talking about chemtrails and fluoride and how we need a detox, and that'll segue him very smoothly into saying, and that's why you should buy hot water purified shilajit from Chalk. His Rumble videos are a little bit different. Instead of the lead into his hook being chemtrails and fluoride, it's everyone's favorite, but I can't talk about this here. Now, the rest of the story is something that I just can't talk about on Instagram.
The red dot
but information like this is being suppressed. And
You're going after my dome.
Whiny, juvenile fucking bullshit as a reason why you should come watch his live streams over on Rumble.
There's some funny things going on that affect all of us that we can't fully discuss on a mainstream platform due to obvious reasons. The other side of the story you're not hearing on Instagram because of censorship. We're gonna
see, Shayne, as a former Christian, the cross that you're wearing across your neck there will be judging you at all time. You know that you're not supposed to lie, right? But no, we are only living under the new covenant, so the New Testament, not the commandments, so no, we are not bound to. No, don't pull that shit. Lying is still part. It's a very, very huge part of this. Just saying, Shayne. Just saying. Just saying.
We're gonna be live streaming tonight discussing this and many other things. This is in Florida that can't necessarily be mentioned on Instagram. But that's not something I can go too deep into on here. That's what I save for my uncensored free speech Rumble live streams. If you want to hear the truth, uncensored, unfettered about this scenario, comment Rumble below and I'll send you a link to my live stream channel.
What? It's just a couple of cheaters. That's all.
There's a whole lot more going on here that we can discuss. Once you get the link, make an account, follow me, and turn on live notifications so you know when I'm live.
I absolutely love this hook. It's perfection. I have no notes. It is an ambrosia, a perfect mixture of the pseudoscience, anti-intellectualism of the supplement peddling, mixed with the contrarian victim complex that so many conspiracy theorists seem to have. It's like that video from the Philip Zeba series where he had like a laser dot on his head. It was like, bro, I can't talk about this anymore.
Yo, I gotta go. I've said too much.
Like, bro, no.
And this Philip is funny.
You're like a 6-foot white dude paying $2K a month to live in one of those fucking like dorm rooms for adults. I promise you, the foot soldiers of the shadow Illuminati are not sitting around pulling their hair out like, oh, fuck, guys, Shayne made another video, we gotta do something. While this is a small example of this kind of language, this narrative is a crucial component of the brainwashing that conspiracy theorists will do to their victims. See, most people with half a brain aren't really keen on a bunch of morons spreading dangerous and harmful misinformation, and so conspiracy theorists and grifters often get a lot of pushback from, you know, fucking everyone. Now, while the appropriate response to receiving criticism or pushback is to acknowledge it in good faith and see if there's any way that you could improve your actions, conspiracy theorists can't do this. Since they don't have a leg to stand in the field that they're trying to grift off of, they can't give an inch to anybody. After all, acknowledging criticism is a sign of weakness, and much of their audience is under this sort of black and white mindset that things are either right or wrong. So if a conspiracy theorist or grifter actually starts to acknowledge criticism that's levied against them, they might start to lose some of their following. And if they lose their following, and people start to listen to actual science, who the fuck are they supposed to sell pills to? And this is where the victim narrative strategy comes in to save the day. Want to know how to make your victims disregard every single negative thing ever said about you without you having to address any of it? Simple. Just say, that's the mainstream narrative. You see those people pushing the mainstream narrative? They're trying to silence me. This is all proof that there's a big cover-up, that they don't want me to speak the truth. And this line of reasoning will work Perfectly. Because the anti-establishment, anti-intellectual audience loves this narrative. It reinforces their worldview, after all. You know what? Everyone is lying to me, and this guy agrees. He's bravely going out there and saying the truth, and he's being punished for it by them. But I know that even if they came for him and the walls closed in and everyone was against him, he would stand for what he believed.
That's such a sad thing. And like, when I'm saying, when I keep on repeating the point of me once being very religious, it's not to be like, hey, you can't find any positive aspect in religion. I did. A lot of the people that I would proselytize with and or preach with and or study the Bible with were wonderful people, and I absolutely love all of them still today, even if we vehemently disagree on belief. The thing, however, is that it incentivizes this very thing. There was a point where I was working with a Korean church where they had this thing, a rule about not exploring Jusok. Jusok is a word for the world, the lies that is being peddled by the outside world. So don't look into information that might like lower your faith, the strength of your conviction in the word. Don't do that. Don't use the brain that God gave you. This is all what it is. It's isolation, as they wrote there in the note. And it's terrible.
So you want to know why everyone stands against him? Maybe because he's a fucking idiot. If you follow someone who has to use this fucking language of like, see, everyone's out silencing me, you should maybe ask yourself, why is it that every single person disagrees with you? Is that their problem, or is that your fucking problem? Like, I've had a few friends in my life who have been like, you know, oh, every friend I've ever had has left me. They were all just fake friends and they were terrible to me. And I'm like, interesting. I wonder what the story is with that. And then, you know, fast forward like a few years and you're like, oh, I get it now. It wasn't them, it was you. This is actually kind of an interesting point to talk about though, because this is one of the many ways that conspiracy theories function a lot like cults. Because these exact narratives of contrarian, self-victimizing delusions of grandeur are directly out of the cult playbook as well. First,
or the word that I personally prefer to use is high function control group, because it's all about exerting that control over the individual, taking your individuality away. You need to be part of the collective, this closed off collective that is going against the world. Or at least who the world is persecuting, for they are the only ones who are on the righteous path.
Just asking questions. We're just challenging the paradigm a little bit. And then it's that there's a lie, and you can't trust them, and you can't trust the science or your family. In fact, the only one you can trust is me. I'm the one who's looking out for you. I'm the one that can take care of you. I'm the one that you can trust. And if you leave, you're gonna be all alone out there with them. Once the only person that they can trust is you, you can make them do anything, whether that be buying supplements or drinking Kool-Aid. What I'm trying to say is don't take this shit fucking lightly, people. I know there's gonna be people in the comments saying, it's not that deep, you're reading into it too much. And I'm sure that if Shane does say anything about these videos, it will be something along those lines as well. So not to pull out the fucking therapy speak here, people, but don't let them fucking gaslight you. This is the reason I talk about there being a fucking pipeline. Well, you guys hear that? It's the thought police. They're coming to take me away. Intermission. Everyone go grab a palm full of blueberries, okay? Do I have dirt on my ass? Probably. It's pretty good. Oh my God. Okay, what the fuck are we talking about? Okay, now that you understand the sales pitch strategy, let's have a little look at this live stream. Because it's just fucking amazing. Okay, we're gonna just start off with a random clip here. Editors, pick something. Run that shit.
What are the odds? Like, when was the last time a fireworks facility blew up, and why now did it happen twice in 7 days? Very concerning indeed.
You see what I mean? Like, I don't know what I was expecting. I should have expected exactly this, but like I was holding out in my head that like there's gonna be some really like, I don't know, it was gonna be worth
something
it,
with some meat on
Aside
it.
from whatever it is he's saying, there's gonna be two things that you notice here. Firstly, and most notably, is that he is wearing a metal triangle on his head. I don't know what the fucking deal is with this triangle.
The frequencies.
Sometimes he wears it in his short form video, and sometimes he'll cover it with tinfoil as well. I don't know if this is a bit or if he like actually thinks this is doing something. I'm like so torn between if Shayne is like a grifter who actually believes in what he's saying, or a grifter who just doesn't give a flying fuck what he's saying.
Does he have like a metal rod so to knock it once in a while and like actually like playing the triangle? It emits anti-frequencies to block the 5G signals.
I imagine the truth is somewhere in the middle, but I can't actually imagine someone putting themselves online with this thing on their head and thinking that it actually does something. Like, it feels like something that's just made to drum up engagement with, I mean, to be fair, it fucking worked. But is this really the engagement you want, Shayne? Was it worth it? Thankfully, he actually addresses this thing that he's wearing on his head in this video, so I didn't have to look into it anymore. So here's what he has to say on this.
I would imagine for sure there's more benefits to ingesting superfoods than to just putting a pyramid-shaped object on your head, even though that is badass too.
You know, Shayne, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I actually have to agree with you. I would imagine that there are undoubtedly more health benefits to eating superfoods than there are to wearing a pyramid-shaped object on your head. In fact, I would go so far as to say that I do not know if there are any benefits to wearing a pyramid-shaped object on your head. And if there are, I can guarantee you that none of those benefits is looking badass. Looking like a fucking napkin holder, maybe, but like a badass, I don't think so. But secondly, and much more importantly than the fucking napkin holder he's wearing on his head, is the fact that he is posted up in front of a giant pile of supplements. Yep. Which is because these live streams are just gigantic ads for supplements. This means that in all of the short form videos he makes where he's not promoting supplements, he is instead promoting his live stream, so you come over there so he can sell you supplements there instead. What I'm trying to say is that this means that pretty much every single piece of content Shayne makes is, without exception, an ad read for fucking supplements. My amazing editorial team did a little bit more digging into this. Thank you guys, I just can't fucking take it anymore. And they were the ones that informed me that Shayne goes live on Rumble and Twitter. Was it 3 hours every day or was it 4? It might actually be 4.
We go live every day between noon and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
He goes live on Rumble every single day for fucking hours. Now, I have to imagine that that sort of streaming schedule, on top of him posting sometimes up to 30 short form videos every single day, is like it's like a full-time job. Yeah. Supplement promo codes are like his full-time job. I guess I was a little bit wrong when I said earlier that Shayne's business model is peddling misinformation. His 9 to 5 is pushing promo codes for supplements. You know, a little piece of me, man to man, has to respect it a tiny bit. You know, guy's gotta do what a guy's gotta do to support his family. I respect that. I happen to know that Shayne has a kid, so I know that he's got, you know, he's got at least 2 mouths to feed. I don't know if mother is in the picture as well, but that would be 3. Maybe she's working as well. I don't fucking know what the situation is, but man's gotta work. I totally understand that, and you know, our ultimate priority is to take care of you and your family.
I'm a father myself, of 2.
But I have to ask myself, Shayne, don't you have like, I don't know, did you go to fucking Voctech school or something like that? You know how to like make cabinets or some shit? Like, I get that like this is probably pretty fucking lucrative and you can work from home and all that, but like there's a whole lot of other jobs that you could do working from home where you don't have to, humiliate yourself. It's hard, it's tough to only be able to see what's inside of your own head, you know? Like, we only get to see our own perception of reality, and we'll never get to fully understand what someone else's is like. So I'll never be able to understand the complex threads woven together that make up the mental fabric of Shayne. But
that's why he's wearing that piece on the head. That's why he's wearing that piece on his head, so that nobody can penetrate his mental fortitude, his fortress of cockitude. God, that's a bad joke. I'm sorry.
That is not going to stop me from unsolicitedly projecting my worldview onto him and questioning his decisions. I am a YouTuber after all, so while Shayne's business model may be supplement promo codes, mine is unsolicited input. Okay, I also want to just say something very quickly here. I know I said this in the last video, but I need to say it again, especially because we're talking about Shayne and live streams. Fucking don't. I don't think I said this at the beginning of this video, but I'm gonna say it again here. This video is not grounds for you to attack or harass Shane at all. Uphold the high bar, uphold the high bar. If you go and do shit like that, you will make all of us look fucking bad, and you're a piece of shit. Okay, anyway, let's look at some fucking highlights from this goddamn live stream.
That is the Chad motor. It has a bunch of B vitamins in it as well, and niacin, which massively stimulates your circulatory system and your lymphatic system, possibly adding years to your life. I imagine so. If you detox chemicals that are toxic out of you, I imagine you'd also live longer. But
do you think if I bribed the dump truck over there, it would come bury me in dirt? It could possibly add years to your life. The word possibly is doing absolutely an immense amount of heavy lifting. A legally protecting amount of heavy lifting. This is what I mean of trying to separate the company and their products from Shane and his sales pitches. Because, like, is this something that was, like, okayed by the company? Was the company like, yo, Shane, our fucking dust can make you live longer? And Shane was like, yes, boss, I'm on it. I'll tell everyone.
Yeah, which is the weirdest thing, because usually companies will have you do like a specific ad read. They'll send you a form and tell you that at least cover these and these points. I know that from having received the likes of Raid Shadow Legend. God, I miss the time when Raid Shadow Legends was like everywhere. It was kind of funny. But then the other ones are more liberal with it and just let you do whatever you want and just promote the stuff and tell you to give your subscribers a discount code. But this, god damn, none of the information is even verified. It can do this and this, I imagine.
On that. Or were the founders of the company watching this live stream and they're like, oh shit, Shane's all hopped up on the cold water purified shilajit powder again, and he's talking about how how it can make you live forever. I have no idea what the case is here. And again, I'm not a doctor or a lawyer, but I can't help but feel like saying that a product could potentially increase your lifespan might breach some sort of ethical or legal boundary. Then there's this great bit where he enlightens us to the question we've all been wondering, which is, how does 5G work with chemtrails to control us?
the reason that they're spraying us with chemtrails, which I think is not news to anyone on here. We all know they're spraying us with some shit, right? Well, in that is conductive nanoparticles, conductive heavy metals, barium, aluminum, and strontium, and all this, right? Those are magnetic metals. And so, yes, Wi-Fi cell towers and smart meters interact with the conductive metals in you. Think about it, electromagnetic frequencies and conductive metal particles. There's a bit of a transmission going on. There's a bit of an interface going on.
I don't think that anybody needs to apply a physics degree to tell you about this stuff. When he says
so, yes, Wi-Fi cell towers and smart meters interact with the conductive metals in you. Think about it,
then just about every single magnetic metal will focus up. He mentioned strontium, aluminium, not aluminum, and what was the other one? Barium or something like that. Dear Shane, do you know which metal in our body is in the largest amount and also is conductive? Fucking iron. Women have about that 18 milligrams when they're not on the cycle, and men is about 8. So why the hell aren't we all dropping dead with the signals that are coming through just on a normal daily basis? And my dude has no idea of how electromagnetism works, given that he wears that dome thing on his dome.
Magnetic frequencies and conductive metal particles. There's a bit of a transmission going on. There's a bit of an interface going on. So that's another reason why you want to be chugging the Chad mode and detoxing the metals out of you. Not to mention the whistleblower who came out and said, if you put tinfoil in a microwave, see what happens. That's basically what's going to happen if they crank up the cell towers while everyone is full of these nano metals from the
tinfoil in a oh no. A whistleblower came out to talk about tinfoil in a microwave. Are you dumb? The microwaves are low-energy, non-ionized radiation, in contrast to the stuff that you get blasted with when you need to get a scan. That's why they're safe. That's why they usually will make, due to the effect with polarization, hit up the thing that are inside your microwave by affecting the poles we keep on turning, and the energy that is produced from that comes in the form of heat. But unlike the arcing that happens when you put tinfoil within a fucking microwave, Shane, there's a huge difference in the signals that hit you from a 5G towers and milligrams of would-be metal within your blood. I don't even need to explain any of this. I'm the stupid one who's getting mad at this. I should just be laughing.
The trails they're spraying on us. It's a satanic plan. I don't know what to tell you. I know it's a bit freaky, but start fucking detoxing now and maybe we won't be so affected by it.
Holy fucking shit.
Oh, you brought out wine.
Satanic plan, man. I don't know what to tell you. Oh my God, this is just... Oh, wow. Honestly, I kind of love that. I feel like I might have to do that as a bumper sticker. It's a satanic plan, man. I don't know what to tell you. Hey, quit harshing my fucking buzz here, bro. It's a satanic plan. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just a little guy, huh? I feel like if I was like 100% sure of a satanic plan, I'd have like a sense of urgency to it, you know? I'd be like, guys, holy shit, you're not gonna fucking believe this. This is insane. It's a satanic plan. Not Shane, though. He's calm, cool, and collected, right? He's like, hey, look, you know, it's a satanic plan, but like, hey, what you gonna do about it? You know what you're gonna do about it? You're gonna buy my fucking supplements and I'm gonna make 20%. Yeah, guys, I know it's a satanic plan. It's pretty crazy, but like, it's chill. Just click the fucking link in the bio, you know? So what the fuck does this even mean? They're gonna fill us with heavy metals so they can turn up the 5G to what, like, fucking microwave us? Again, I'm not a fucking physicist. I don't think that's how that works. Also, why? Wouldn't that just like kill everyone? Is that the goal? Is the goal just to kill everyone? And if there was like, you know, evil overlord, you know, satanic plan, wouldn't there be a whole hell of a lot less convoluted ways to kill everyone if that's what they wanted to do for whatever fucking reason? I mean, like, Christ, this is the fucking, you know, Illuminati shadow Satan government, right? Like, don't you think they have the time, energy, and resources to come up with something a little less fucking ass backwards than spraying everyone with chemtrails so you can turn up the 5G towers so they all explode like it's fucking Kingsman? All right, guys, I got a plan. It's this crazy idea.
Oh my God, yes. That's the first movie, wasn't it? Was it the first movie of The Golden Circle? No. I think it was the first movie where people were actually already exploding. The Golden Circle was also fun. Because I get a little bit confused because there is the Kingsman, the Golden Circle, and then there is the Kingsman. The prequel that sees Voldemort play the main character. Joseph Ray finds such a fantastic actor, but he will always be for me, Lord Voldemort.
There's gonna be this thing invented in like 70 years called 5G, and what we need to do to capitalize on it is start spraying people with chemtrails from all the airplanes that we're flying now. Then once we invent 5G, it's gonna react with the heavy metals from the chemtrails we've been spraying, and then we're gonna go to the comedically large switch in the Illuminati headquarters, and we're gonna pull it, and everyone's gonna explode. What do you mean the fucking chemtrails are also falling on us, the evil overlords that are actually verifiably out in the world right now doing evil shit? What do you mean this is a really fucking stupid idea? It's a satanic plan. I don't know what to tell you. Jesus Christ. You know, it's a bottomless wealth of entertainment, if nothing else. Okay, and then we got this part.
According to the word on the street, in some corners of the internet, the cell towers are being used to mass manipulate the frequency of the masses' consciousnesses and their mental state. And furthermore, if they crank them up, those magnetic frequencies interact with the heavy metals that are inside of us and alters your state of consciousness even further, which is why that one whistleblower said it's imperative to be detoxing.
Fuck, dude. They're manipulating the frequency of the masses' consciousnesses? Oh, wow. We are cooked. Shane, I gotta come clean for you. This is a little embarrassing for me to admit because, you know, I'm the science guy over here, but I didn't even know that the masses' consciousnesses had a frequency, or that masses had a frequency, or that consciousnesses had a frequency for that matter. What frequency are the masses at exactly? I know for a fact it can't be 92.9 because that's WBOS, Boston's rock radio.
Hey.
You're listening to 106.7, the frequency of the masses.
Oh, so I'm sorry to make you repeat yourself here, Shane, but what was your...
Dropping Imagine Dragon onto it is just perfect.
a source for that again?
According to the word on the street, in some corners of the internet.
Word on the street and some corners of the internet. Fuck, man. It's fucking watertight. You know, those guys they've been doing some cutting edge research. You know, it feels like these days you can't even throw a stone without hitting some new publication from those folks over at some corners of the internet and on the street. I hear with their recent successes on publishing about the frequency of the masses, they're shifting their research grant funding to look deeper into the vibrational frequency of consciousness. Jesus. Fucking Christ. Wow. You know, this would be absolutely idyllic if I wasn't doing what I'm doing right now. I'm in this beautiful garden. It's late July. There's a sea breeze blowing at me.
The perfect working environment.
And I'm talking about this shit. You know, I gave Shane shit for, you know, what are you doing with your life, bro? But I'm doing this, so, you know. But hey, at least I'm here, you know? Fucking fuck. Okay, I'm obviously taking the piss here. But my point with all of this is that all of these words that he is saying for some reason don't mean fucking anything. It is just like pseudo-scientist psychobabble word salad. The masses don't have a frequency. That does not fucking mean anything. This is language that is made to sound scientific so that he can prey on people so that he can sell them his fucking supplements. But more importantly than that, fucking life lesson number one. If a guy is trying to sell you a bottle of pills and one of his reasons for why you should buy it is word on the street is you probably shouldn't buy the fucking pills. I talked a little bit earlier about the conflict of interest, about how he's not actually invested in giving people sound health advice. He's invested in giving people whatever narrative will make them buy his supplements. See, if he was just completely off his shit but giving people, like, you know, solutions of things they could do in their own home, I'd be a little bit more amenable to it, because it doesn't have this weird, like, fucking classist undertone to it. Like, ooh, yeah, sorry, you're actually too poor to escape from the satanic plan. Too bad. Should've capitalismed a little harder, fucking idiot. Like, ooh, dude, I'm really sorry. I know I just told you about the satanic plan, but actually you're too poor. Fuck, looks like you and your family are screwed, but like, best of luck out there. Anyway, I want to eat my words a little bit, because in this live stream, Shane actually does give some advice for people who want to do something about these issues that he has made them very concerned about, that isn't just buying his pills.
But otherwise, you could fast. A totally free way to detox metals would be doing like a serious fast, like a multi-day fast, water fast, juice fast, or whatever. But for some people, especially if they're working and stuff, it's kind of hard to not eat for several days in a row. You know what I mean?
Huh. You fucking think so, Shane? You think it might be hard for people to, I don't know, not eat for several days in a row? There we go, fuck. Groundbreaking research there, fucking Alexander Fleming. Oh my God. Look, guys, it's a satanic plan. They're coming for you and your family, and the best way to save yourself is to buy these pills. But like, if you're a fucking broke-ass bitch, the next best thing you could do is starve yourself for a few days. Jesus H. Christ. My man, you are on track for a fucking Nobel. You know, maybe in retrospect, I'm kind of glad that Shane isn't giving health advice other than supplements, because if starving yourself is one of his sage pieces of wisdom, I don't really know if that's more detrimental to more people.
Yeah, I mean, some of the biggest idiots out there in The Biggest Loser recently came forth with the best amount of glee on their faces, being like, that's what they also should have done. Like, I swear, that show, man, it's because recently Netflix made an adaptation, a documentary about the show. And all of the detrimental stuff that the people who went and participated in it were exposed to. And as always, when I'm viewing stuff like this, it just proves that we have learned nothing.
Supplements thing. I just can't believe that. That's crazy. And then, like, I also can't help but think that, like, wouldn't that mean, like, okay, so you starve yourself for 3 days, just, you know, an easy thing to do that's super good for you. And then, you know, those 3 days are done, you're fucking emaciated, you have no energy, you are, you know, lacking, like, you're malnourished. And then you're like, oh, thank God, I'm done with the Shane fast. I can finally go back to eating. And then let me guess, you start eating again and you're just ingesting all the same, the toxins that you know, purged through your fast anyway, right? So there's no point in doing that then, right? Like, I mean, I guess that's the point, because it doesn't work. and then you have to take supplements, and that's the only way that you can save yourself from the satanic plan. I don't know what to tell you. That's just so crazy. It's like, hey, you know what? It's not enough to be preying on paranoid and impoverished people to sell them supplements. Why don't we prey on even more paranoid and impoverished people and give them an eating disorder as well? That's awesome. That's awesome. The man did what I thought he never could. Oh, an osprey. It's got a fish. That fish is full of heavy metal. You're probably gonna want to try hot water purified shilajit from chalk. Okay, let's just go to the next part.
I'm 30. I can't believe it. Actually, I just remember being 15. Feels like yesterday, man.
We are the same age. Oh boy. Oh my God.
And 10. I remember 10. When I get younger in age, I remember less though. Probably because I got all 26 doses of the vaccines by the time I was 2 years old.
Here we go. This is where we're jumping into RFK territory, aren't we?
What? God damn. It must be exhausting to just be this paranoid all the time that like everything in the world is just some plot to like, you know, get you. Like, okay guys, new satanic plan. Why don't we inject everyone with a vaccine so they don't remember when they were a baby? That'll fuck them up. Like, what does this even mean? Oh, bro is just talking out his ass. I gotta say, I think short form content is something that Shane should stick to a little bit more, because at least there, he's got a time constraint on the bullshit he can say, and like, he can edit things out, you know? But with like a 4-hour live stream, this dude can just like, fucking say pretty much whatever he wants. You know, I'm actually gonna even take this a step farther. Not only are vaccines not responsible for you losing the memories of your life when you were a toddler, but I would actually go as so far as to say that vaccines are directly responsible for any memories you do still have from when you were a toddler, because they allow you to live past being a fucking toddler. I wish that every anti-vax person on the planet could teleport back in time and like just live as like a pioneer family in like the 1800s.
Yes. This is the thing that I always tell people. Like, okay, fine. You can argue the whole of things happen quickly. You can come with the argument of, oh, but things happen too quickly, while completely disregarding the fact that this happens when we are collectively working during a pandemic to develop something. But fine, use that argument. But let me tell you that you are in such a comfortable environment right now to the point where you have completely forgotten how the world used to be like without the vaccines. Like stuff like measles, smallpox, polio, hepatitis, to some degree the flu that some people still get, but for the most part have been eradicated from the surface of the earth. With the few occasions of those idiots who decide not to vaccinate themselves and then end up spreading them again, like people have forgotten how deadly these things were. Like it is estimated that at least more than 400 million people in the last century died of smallpox. And I want to argue that the recent outbreak that we got to see in measles, that also kill people, is like around similar numbers. Like, what are people thinking?
I would love to see these motherfuckers change their tone after watching every single person they know die of fucking measles. That sounds really harsh, and I don't mean that as like I genuinely wish like ill upon these people, but like it is amazing to me that we have managed to grow the population of the planet to this size. We have managed to improve life experience and life expectancy as much as we have, thanks to fucking vaccines, and thanks to the fucking medical improvements we've had. And these dumbass motherfuckers are sitting there like, actually no, this is all terrible and part of a satanic plan. I grew up outside of Boston, Massachusetts. The cemetery near my house had graves dating back to like the late 1600s. I was always really moved going to these fucking cemeteries, and one of the things that moved me the most was how many tiny fucking headstones there were. Do you have any idea why those tiny fucking headstones were there? It's because so many kids died. They got fucking measles, they got fucking typhus, they got fucking tuberculosis, and they fucking died. Now we have vaccines and medicine for all that shit, and these dumbass motherfuckers are on fucking Rumble being like, actually guys, it's responsible for your memory loss. This fucking shit could make people not vaccinate their kids. It is making people not vaccinate their kids.
It is.
We had a fucking measles outbreak. Do you have any idea how fucking insane that is? This is what I mean of like, don't let these people fucking gaslight you if like, it's just not that deep, bro. Like, I just care about people's health and well-being. You clearly fucking don't, Shane. You have a child. You have a human child that is yours, blood of your fucking blood. I pray on my fucking mother's grave that your child is vaccinated. Jesus H. Christ. Because if they're fucking not, that is on you. Ah, these people are fucking stupid. I hope that I make it into like a 2016 style, like SJW gets owned compilation, or like SJW rage compilation, but it's gonna be on like, you know, like libs of TikTok, and it's gonna just be that clip, and it's gonna be like, woke YouTuber rages about vaccine mandates. But you know what? At the end of the day, bro, if you don't wanna get your fucking vaccine, you know, I'll send your family flowers. Now that you've made it through that part of the video, which is stupid as shit, I want to show you what is my favorite part of this entire stream. And that is, it's very brief, so you're gonna miss it. So if you're folding your laundry or watching, you know, washing your fucking dishes, come to your screen for a second. I want you to watch this. Because I am like 97% sure that this fucking guy pops a Zin.
He said, you'll probably live a long time. You know what's funny, Oofchi?
What are you doing, Shane? Help. I'm gonna borrow the GIF or the image that Milo has edited there, or his editors have done, and put it right there. God damn it. Help. I thought that this trend has ended, man. I used to laugh at my fellow students who were doing that, and now it's still going on, like, come on.
Fucking A. Fucking A. Like, I've watched this so many times, and I'm like trying to figure out if that's actually what he's doing. And like, unless he's rubbing a little bit of fucking snow up there, I have no better explanation at all. I mean, he even fucking adjusts it later. There's a part where he's talking and he's doing this kind of thing, you know?
That was that.
Yeah, he pulled it out.
Oh my God, it's just, I couldn't script something this fucking funny. Here comes Shane talking about how you don't want to ingest any toxins and how we got to detox from, you know, like those synthetic products. Wouldn't want to be ingesting any fucking toxins, would you, Shane? Maybe just a little pouch of synthetic nicotine crystals directly on the fucking thinnest skin in your body. Fuck me. That body is a temple, right? God damn, bro. You just can't make this up. Like, that is like something out of a fucking sketch, you know? A guy talking about how, you know, scaring everyone into thinking that their fucking lives are gonna be ruined by, you know, heavy metals and fucking atrazine, and then taking, you know, synthetic fucking nicotine crystals. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Okay, so here's the part of this live stream that I saved for last, because while the rest of it is a lot more entertaining, this part is probably the most pertinent.
Now that it's blown open, July 4th might be chill. Name a time, someone name a time where someone gave a date for a significant attack. Because before 9/11, no one said, on 9/11 there's gonna be an attack. Of course, we had all those, the numerology and the, you know, the different subliminal, subconscious programmings of, hey, look at 9/11 in this old Simpson comic, and it was before 9/11, and then after 9/11 we went back and we saw how many times they kind of put it in our subconscious about this 9/11 stuff. But no one said on 9/11 this attack's gonna happen. People said there's gonna be an attack. In fact, Alex Jones actually did say there's gonna be some type of attack, and it's gonna get America involved in a war in the Middle East. And he did say that before 9/11, but he didn't say 9/11 and there's gonna be towers, etc.
9/11 truthisms, numerology, wearing a triangle on his head in front of a giant pile of supplements, and quoting walking tumor Alex Jones. That right there is a bingo. I would say that that bingo is so big, it's a finish your drink and then get another drink and then finish that one as well. I'm not gonna do that though, because if I chugged the rest of that, I would be incoherent for the rest of this video. I'm already incoherent as it is. I'm incoherent sober. Okay, so this stream that we're watching pieces of here took place right before the 4th of July, which is Independence Day here in the United States. And so one of Shane's really big narratives was that they're putting like biological weapons in the fireworks, and they're gonna detonate all the fireworks and then like scatter, you know, people with biological weapons. I once again ask, why?
Why so complicated?
And then I also will ask, what? I always say that the difference between a complete bullshit conspiracy theory and a conspiracy theory that could have some merit to it is motive. And I'm once again asking you, what the fuck is the motive here? Are you trying to like what, kill everyone with chemicals from a firework? Like,
apparently.
I don't understand. What's the fucking move there? Like, you're the Illuminati shadow government. Couldn't you, kill everyone in a more simple way, like chemtrails and then turning up the 5G to make their heads explode? It's just fucking weird, bottom line. And I don't know if this is like common conspiracy theory or if this is just something that like Shayne came up with to be like the beating drum for the days leading up to the 4th of July to get people to come check him out over on Rumble. Either way, of course, the only way that you can save yourself from this sinister plan, this satanic plan, if you will, this satanic plan, I don't know what to tell you, is, of course, to buy supplements using Shayne's promo code. It kind of seems like he knows that this conspiracy is, like, totally fucking nuts. And so, like, throughout this live stream, he sprinkles in these parts where he's like, now, because we're talking about this, people are becoming aware of it, so they may not actually do it. I'm like, bro, you are on a Twitter live stream with 38 people. I promise you the shadow government are not all sitting there on July 3rd, in the group chat texting each other like, fuck guys, Shayne's blown the lid off our secret plan. What are we gonna do now? Bill, you got any more vaccines lying around? It's like the same thing that every doomsday cult has ever done, where they're like, guys, the world's gonna end on this day, and then the world doesn't end, and they're like, oh shit, no, it's gonna end, I was just wrong about the day. It's like, at what point do you acknowledge that you're just here to pick people's pockets, huh? I also think it's funny that he brings up like 9/11 numerology and says something like, nobody knew that it was gonna happen on that date. When in the first episode that we did on Shayne, we talked about one of his videos where he literally claimed that the band Supertramp had advanced knowledge of 9/11 because if you take the Breakfast in America album cover and reverse it, it says 9/11 in front of the World Trade Center. And then in this live stream, he's like, no one could ever have known it was gonna happen then. And then he says something like, well, now if you look back at all the signs, all the signs were there. Yeah, no shit, Shayne, because you have a pattern-seeking brain.
Yeah, of
now
course.
That the thing
That's how
that
the brain works.
has happened, you can look back in retrospect and find album covers and fucking Simpsons episodes and shit. If 9/11 happened on a different date, these fucking morons would just be finding that date everywhere instead. But probably the most concerning part of all of this is him bringing up Alex Jones. Okay, now don't get me wrong, the guy is fucking hilarious, unintentionally. But once you move past like the sound bites about, gay frogs, he is genuinely one of the most despicable human beings on the entire planet. He's
like, I've explained this so many times. I dropped him in like video game reviews and discussions like, yes, he is pretty freaking funny.
Go interdimensional. We will unlock the secrets of the universe. God has laid them out like Christmas presents for his children.
The man who goes like, I'm an explorer, I'm a human, and I'm coming. Like a person who's so verbose with so much intensity in everything that he does, inevitably comes up as being a very fun character to make fun of. But that's where he stops. All the thing that he peddles, the thing that he says, are extremely concerning and have harmed a lot of people.
Promoted a litany of conspiracy theories about 9/11 and the Oklahoma City bombing, claimed that his political opposition are child-sacrificing Satanists, and most memorably in my lifetime became the most vocal advocate of the conspiracy theory that the Sandy Hook school shooting in 2012 was a false flag attack, and that the 26 innocent people who were needlessly slaughtered by a fucking human monster, 20 of whom were between the ages of 6 and 7 years old, were actually just actors. And
by the time of recording this, yet another shooting happened in the US again, where they are once again gonna blame it on identity politics. Are going to be like, oh no, the libs, they want to take away our rights to own guns, while they are not focusing on the fact that the satanic mental corruption of the youth are turning them into gender fluid individual, instead of acknowledging the actual hard-hitting issue of a gun problem. Why is it that countries like Switzerland, who literally have gun festivals, are not committing the same degree of school shootings and or other assaults as the US does? And then a guy like this will have the gall to step forth in court and deny the grievance of parents who have lost their children while still claiming that the fucking thing was a hoax. Oh man, like I watched bits and pieces of that trial where he has now been where he's like filed for bankruptcy multiple times, but is still being sponsored by the right-wing peddlers that support him, because that's how it is today. You just need to be an awful person, and now people are going to be financially supporting you. But the rage, dude, as a parent now, I could rip this man apart. Like, I would lose all composure if I were in his presence.
That the whole thing was just a big publicity stunt by the US government to infringe on our right to bear arms. I can't say how I honestly feel about Alex Jones here on YouTube. So the way that I'll put it is that Alex Jones is a genuinely reprehensible human being. And on a completely unrelated topic, I sometimes hope that I'm wrong and that hell is real. The conspiracy theories that Alex Jones has created and pushed are fucking disgusting, and the damage that they have caused is impossible to calculate. So Shane quoting him not once, but twice in this little highlights reel is concerning on its own, but that's only the beginning. Do you know how Alex Jones built his multi-million-dollar empire? Are you ready for this? Selling fucking supplements. According to the Huffington Post, in the course of 3 years, Alex Jones' store brought in a staggering $165 million, a large portion of which he got from selling supplements. Supplements which, of course, fall under DSHEA and do not have to be verified by the fucking FDA. Meaning that in this case, our trust in the reliability and safety of these products is hinged on the word of Alex fucking Jones.
And as he mentioned in the first video covering Shane, he met with this lady who now suffers a bunch of health issues because of supplements that her father took during the highlight of Alex Jones.
The guy who thinks that 20 murdered first graders was a fucking publicity stunt. Holy fuck. So how does Alex Jones actually sell these supplements? I mean, he profits from the misinformation too, of course. You know, through ad revenue and growing his following. But if you add supplements in there, you got yourself a pretty lucrative business. I mean, hey, $165 million in 3 years ain't so bad, is it?
And that was something that he pushed a hell of a lot more as soon as YouTube banned him, stopped this entire, demonetized his channel, and later on got him removed, so he jumped onto sites like Rumble and others to try and peddle that even more.
Can't you see that, Alex? You could be sitting in a multi-million-dollar house in the New England coast getting, you know, sprayed by chemtrails. You could be living the high life, brother. I mean, hey, you know, if you can't beat the elites, well, you may as well join them. But if you want to do that, Alex, if you want to cash that fucking check, you're gonna need buyers. And so what do? I mean, what kind of question is that, guys? The answer is obvious. You gotta scare the living shit out of people. Make up whatever conspiracies you like. Who gives a shit? The scarier, the better. Make them about vaccines and terrorist attacks. Why not throw in a little homophobia and racism as well while you're at it? There's a new atrocity in the news cycle. How can I ride the coattails of this? Quick, let's pull into the conspiracy theory bucket. It was caused by socialist trans frogs, and they're coming for your kids. Remember, nothing is off the table here. After all, you're preying on the fearful and ignorant, and you're not here to try and enlighten them. After all, their paranoia is your market. And then once your victims are scared shitless about the socialist trans frogs coming to take your children, you finally get to reveal that you can protect them from it, and that you're actually here to help them. Guys, I know you've been spending hours watching me ramble about nebulous things that you should be really scared of, and now you are understandably very scared, but thank God for you, there's me.
I'm here.
Because I have the solution. And that's to go to the fucking Alex Jones store where you can buy yourself some fucking powdered monkey testicles. It'll increase your testosterone by 8 million %. And just like that, you got him hook, line, and sinker. Wow, that one's right over me. Guys, the thought police. Oh my God, it's the weather beam. They're pointing it directly at me. I'm raining. I'm raining. Pause. Okay, pulling it back in. I had way too much fun with that one. That in my script was like 3 sentences. This is the problem with having my scripts be like mostly just like fragment sentences and then just ad-libbing every word that you hear pretty much. Now, in my last video, I drew a comparison between Alex Jones and Shane Vibes. And in that video, I made a point to say that I was not comparing Shane to Alex Jones. But you know what? Now I fucking am. Because as far as I see it, the two are pretty fucking similar. Even when I go to the InfoWars website, which I did for this video, and I don't recommend any of you do, and in that banner on the Alex Jones page, I immediately recognized Shilajit complex as one of the fucking things that Shane's always peddling. And of course, the icing on the cake is in this advertisement. It's got fucking bottles of pills, gold stars and stickers and shit, and right in the middle, none other than the little fucking troll himself, Alex Jones, hands raised like a fucking preacher.
Oh yeah, shit. He's been hopping on that Ozempic as well, huh? You know, that thing has been made accessible to the public through the government. Do you think you really trust that, Alex? For your weight loss? Ozempic?
It's a satanic plan. I don't know what to tell ya. Shane and Alex have product pitches that follow the exact same beat, and the products they advertise seem very similar, and there is no conspiracy too despicable to not be used as a sales pitch. The more that I look at it, the more I see the differences between these two are actually quite few. Shane admittedly is a bit more of a pussyfoot with his words, often sort of just like vaguely implying the, you know, homophobia, racism, sexism, you name it, and then just letting whoever sees his video say the quiet part out loud in the comments.
Yeah.
This, and of course, that Alex with his fucking multi-million-dollar paychecks is in the grifter scumbag big leagues, while Shane's spamming short-form videos every single day and live streaming on Rumble is still playing fucking t-ball. So while there may be differences, as far as I'm concerned, these two are cut from the same fucking cloth. Okay, now let's talk about the consequences. Holy shit.
Damn, that was fast.
Yo, did you see that? That hummingbird almost hit me in the fucking skull.
Skirt!
Jarring scene change. Is this chair creaking gonna be in the audio? Someone's having fun. Oh my god. Y'all, this series has taken me such a long time to film. At the time that I am filming this part, part 1 isn't even out yet, and I started filming part 1 in May, and it is currently on August's doorstep. So now I get to finish part 2, which is honestly one of the last things that I want to do on a day as beautiful as this one. I honestly think that if we lived in a perfect world, I could kind of just end the video there, because I'm pretty sure that anyone with an ample amount of firing neurons would be able to tell what the issue is with everything that we've just talked about. But I am unfortunately aware that we do not live in a perfect world, and so I think it's really important for me to dedicate a section of this video to talking very explicitly about the consequences. So I have a bit of a hunch. See, I've spent a lot of time working with conspiracy theorists and victims of conspiracies, and I kind of know the way their brains operate. So I have a feeling that if Shane or one of the victims who's fallen for his videos and their content were to watch this video, and if they were to give any response, it would probably not be an acknowledgement, and it would probably more likely be a defense or a deflection. It would probably be something pretty similar to what Philip Ziba did in his response to my series on him, where he didn't even acknowledge any of the points I made, and more went for this angle of trying to be like, you know, you're trying to silence me or cancel me, or you're blowing it out of proportion, or we're just asking questions here. As we have seen in the first part of this series and this part of this series, and will unfortunately see in however many more parts of this series there will be, Shane exemplifies this behavior constantly. I have a feeling that he knows that what he is saying is harmful, and so he tries to downplay it in the videos themselves by saying things like, hey look, some say, or according to alternative sources, or my favorite
Some
one,
corner of the
for
internet.
entertainment purposes only. By pussyfooting around their words, Shane and other conspiracy theorists can sort of maintain this air of plausible deniability. That way, they don't have to accept any accountability for any of the consequences of people listening to the things that they're telling them, whether it be viewers spewing vile bigotry in the comments, or, God forbid, actually listening to his dogshit health advice. Downplaying what you're saying by saying that it's for entertainment purposes only, or we're just asking questions, is a classic conspiracy theorist move designed to shut down any criticism before they have even received it. A same vein as this is what Philip Ziba would do in his videos, where he would use the term Google debunkers to shame anyone who would dare fact check what he's saying. I hate to use the word again, but I think it's appropriate here. This is a strategy that is designed to gaslight people into thinking that their response is an overreaction. I have really no way of describing this tactic other than childish and cowardly. It is a beautiful piece of proof that many people in the conspiracy world have no experience in science whatsoever, and that the pseudoscience air that they give themselves is a complete facade, because they don't want to be challenged. They don't want the opinions of their audience to be challenged. They want to be the capital T truth. So firstly, as far as these particular supplements go, and this particular company goes, I don't really have that much of a problem with them beyond just like personal opinion. Like, yeah, I think that calling a supplement Chad mode is pretty fucking cringe, but I don't have some like deep analysis on chalk. Maybe their products do what they say they do, maybe they don't, I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. Because the issue here isn't these supplements. Hell, my issue isn't even with Shane selling things. After all, my man has a family to feed. The issue is much more severe than just like this guy and this company. The issue is the marketing strategy, the implications of that marketing strategy, and the consequences on the people who listen to that marketing strategy. So here are my fucking bullets. Write this shit down. Get your notebooks out. The issues are as follows. Shane frequently scaremongers using widely disproven health conspiracies to push his chalk promotions. This company, Chalk, seemingly has no issue with their products being promoted using widely disproven health conspiracy theories. Because Chalk is presumably a large part of Shane's income, he is not motivated by honesty, but by money, and is therefore incentivized to say anything that will sell more supplements. And lastly, these sales pitches are perfectly crafted to prey on paranoid, disenfranchised, impoverished people. So with all of that understood, we can now begin to look at what bullshit like this actually does to people. Growing up, I went to a Waldorf school. Could you tell?
Oh, I've heard this being used as an insult in the past. I did not quite know what Waldorf schools were, but it was usually one of those where like, oh, if you went there, then you're kind of like a weird kid.
Waldorf was, you know, it was Waldorf. It was full of anti-vaxxers and homeopathic remedies, and I don't think there was a microwave in the entire building. In the younger grades, the girls in my class would dress up in olden days, you know, like bonnets and prairie dresses and things. Ironically, mirroring a time period where they likely all would have died of measles, but didn't have to in the modern world because at least everyone around us was vaccinated. Needless to say, I grew up around a lot of woo-y people. I mean, theosophy was a foundational tenet of my early education, so I've seen chakras and tarot cards and Saint Germain and, you know, had drops put under my tongue from a little brown bottle. Now, other than the anti-vax side of things, most of the woo-y stuff I've sort of experienced has been pretty harmless. If believing in vibrations and frequencies helps you sleep at night, fucking power to ya. But being raised in an environment like this, I got first-hand examples of the exact moment when going against the mainstream went from a harmless alternative way of thinking to something that could be genuinely dangerous. The most memorable example that I have of this was from a few years ago from a family friend who was battling cancer. At a visit that I paid to their house, they excitedly showed me this new thing that they had got as sort of a self-diagnosed part of their treatment. It was, I shit you not, like a laser of some kind. And right off the bat, I was like, oh, that's interesting. What's this? And then they brought out the manual for this thing, and it was like a fucking phone book. And in this book was all of the things that this laser could apparently help with. And this thing was as thick as a phone book for a fucking reason, because it had pretty much everything you could possibly imagine in that book. Everything from headaches to HIV. Right off the bat, this made the fucking hair on the back of my neck stand up. Now, this thing did boast an FDA approval, which when I looked into it a little bit more was an approval that was granted to it for its efficacy in helping heal minor abrasions of the skin. But if I was just to go off this book, it could cure pretty much fucking anything. I held my tongue about this because this friend was still undergoing all of the modern clinically proven cancer treatments. And if having this thing made them feel empowered in their illness, I was not going to take that away from them. Yet I couldn't help but think that if this friend was someone different, someone less trusting and more paranoid, they may have tried to use this laser instead of modern cancer treatment.
Yeah. Anecdotal here. My mom, who I mentioned before, who is suffering from several things, had an episode where, given that she both, my parents get to live half a year here in Denmark and the other half in Spain, so both the Danish medical system and the Spanish one could not figure out what the hell was wrong. At a point, she even has now developed a an allergy towards gluten. She's now gluten allergic, so at some point, literally, an allergy was triggered by the fact that she was giving bread at the hospital, and that was starting to affect her severely, and they couldn't fucking figure it out. And my dad, who had kind of observed the symptoms for that, had to point that out to the doctors. So when you go through episodes like that, you become kind of distrustful. And so she had a moment when she went to our country of birth, Cameroon, and sought to have traditional medicine, which did not help. And I'm not here to say that homeopathy does not work sometimes. It does, but usually homeopathy with certified scientific research is what works, because they know the different plants, the different things that are actually that actually does the chemical reactions needed within your body and outside to actually help you. So my mom did that. But given that she was already undergoing other treatment, I did not freak out about it. So I can kind of relate. But yeah, when you hear stuff like that, it can scare you.
And if they were to have done that, they would probably die. The final thing that I noticed about this magic laser was its retail price of $5,000. This laser plagued me for a long time after this visit. I was trying to figure out why the fuck a company with a legitimate FDA approval would do something like this. And then it struck me, and it was the most simple answer imaginable.
Money.
Well, it's because it makes them a lot of money. Hey, money's money. Who gives a shit if you have to get it by preying on people with AIDS and stage 4 cancer? There's a good fucking Milo Rossi soundbite. My God. I'm sure that this company would make quite a bit of money just, you know, selling this product to hospitals to treat skin abrasions. But you know what's a lot bigger market than hospitals? The sick and dying. And hey, they're desperate enough that they'll buy fucking anything. Look, I know that $5,000 is a lot, but like, is your life worth that? And just like that, boom, you got fucking $5 grand in your pocket. Rinse and repeat a few times and you're a lot bigger market than hospitals, the sick and dying. And hey, they're desperate enough that they'll buy fucking anything. Look, I know that $5,000 is a lot, but like, is your life worth that? And just like that, boom, you got fucking $5 grand in your pocket. Rinse and repeat a few times and you're gonna be sitting pretty on a beach somewhere drinking a fucking Mai Tai. And who gives a shit if there's some body bags somewhere? You have plausible deniability. After all, you said in that manual that it wasn't clinically proven and it could help treat cancer. Oh, what do you mean your spouse died? I wrote on the back of the manual that it was for entertainment purposes only. Thanks for the $5 grand. Anyway, here's a tissue. Wipe those tears up. I gotta go try and sell one of these things to someone with AIDS. As far as I could tell, this whole laser thing was just a complete piece of pseudo-medical bullshit. A sleek design, an FDA approval, a manual full of long words, and a professional $5,000 price tag. Now sure, this device may have actual medical applications, just like the supplements, which may actually have some legitimate health benefits. But in both cases, it feels as though the ethos of the sale has gone from treating something specific to just making as much money as possible. And despite their differences, with one being marketed as a flashy professional piece of medical equipment and the other being marketed as a traditional medical miracle, both prey on the same demographic, the scared and the desperate. The supplements prey on parents who think 5G is going to turn their kids gay, and the laser preys on parents whose kids have cancer. This was one of my first personal experiences with the dangers of health pseudoscience, and I share this story to show that I'm not just talking out my ass here. And even though thankfully this story didn't have a disastrous ending, it very easily could have. So now that you have a small example that doesn't have a disastrous ending, let's talk about a really big example that has a very disastrous ending. In 2018, on the American-occupied island of American Samoa, 2 one-year-olds died after receiving a vaccine.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Okay, this is the measles one. I've heard about this. I don't know the details, but oh my god. Yeah. Speaking of fucking what's the thing that he kept on saying? hot boiled water. Oh, God. Okay, never mind. I was almost going to make a quippy joke here with Shane, but that would be very inappropriate.
Cause of their tragic death was not the vaccine itself, but a mistake. Somehow, in preparing the injections, the doctors accidentally used a muscle relaxant instead of sterilized water. A costly but freak accident that led to the death of 2. Understandably, the residents of American Samoa were pretty shaken up after this incident. Being a small community, word of this tragedy spread quickly and led to many of the residents beginning to feel a distrust towards the medical system. Even though this was a complete accident, a mistake involving operator error and carelessness, it was a really big mistake to make. And at the cost of 2 human lives, it was the responsibility of the medical system to rebuild that trust with the community. However, just as the medical system began the slow road to rebuilding trust with the island's population, the anti-vax grifters swarmed to this incident like the flies they are to a pile of shit, with faux sympathies of the 2 dead children acting like a Trojan horse to push their agenda on the frightened population. This all came to a head when one of the most well-known anti-vax grifters from the United States made a personal trip to American Samoa.
RFK.
There, he met with and promoted other anti-vax influencers and used the incident as an opportunity to beat the war drums against vaccines on social media. In 2013, about 5 years before this incident, 90% of the 1-year-olds in American Samoa had been vaccinated and immunized against measles. By about 2018, right before this incident occurred, that number was about 75%. The early whispers of the anti-vax movement are partly to blame for this initial decrease, and reflect the poor education around vaccines and health safety in this American-controlled territory. This number is made even more stark when compared to the surrounding islands, many of which are sovereign autonomous nations that boast immunization rates of up to 99% of their populations. This 75% immunity in 1-year-olds in 2018 was reasonable, but still far below the 95% needed to secure herd immunity that would protect the entire population, leaving the population of this island vulnerable. Now, if you thought that 75% number was bad, I got news for you. In the year following the incident, the population of American Samoa was bombarded with anti-vax misinformation and lies. And as a result, the number of immunized 1-year-olds dropped from 75% to 30%.
As if America hadn't already destroyed enough of Micronesia and every surrounding area with nuclear testing in the past, to now the over-reliance on processed food that they push onto them because, yeah, guess what? The fish and the natural biomes down there has already been destroyed. Now that over-reliance on processed food has given them obesity for over 75% of the population. I remember checking that out like a year ago or something on a Geopold video. Now, let's push onto them fucking misinformation and destroy their children. Do you understand why sometimes people just look at the US and go like, you're fucking evil? Like, I'm not saying you who are watching this right now, which is 1/3 of my audience are Americans, but like the government and now people who are doing this. Because that's complete disregard for everybody, right? That's not even a care. That faux sympathy for the children that Milo mentioned. Jesus.
Leaving scores of newborn children vulnerable to a deadly disease in a country with an already taxed medical system where 40% of the population is living below the poverty line. Milo, I don't know why you're talking about it like this, man. This actually sounds like a huge win for the free thinkers. It is so great to see our heroes coming from here in the United States and going overseas to teach those poor, incapable people how to take care of themselves. They were being test subjects for the Illuminati Freemason woke agenda. We shared with them the good word. We saved them. All that's to say, I have no idea what you're crashing out about, Snowflake. I'm sure all of this was completely harmless. Right? Right? In August of 2019, a flight took off from Auckland, Australia, headed for American Samoa. Unknown to those on board, one of the passengers was infected with measles. And with the simple push of a button from some unwitting attendant opening the jetway, measles was released onto the island. At first, the disease spread slowly, bouncing from individual to individual. But by October, it had become a full-blown outbreak. For 4 months, the disease ripped through the unprotected population. Unsurprisingly, Interestingly, the group that was hit the hardest by this outbreak were the babies, who were unvaccinated due to the propaganda of anti-vaccine conspiracy theorists. By that December of 2019, 20% of the babies in American Samoa between the ages of 6 and 12 months had contracted measles. 20%. I will say that one more time.
Oh my God.
20% of the babies between 6 and 12 months had contracted measles.
1 out of 5.
20%. Many of these children's parents who were victims of the propaganda from these anti-vaccine influencers did not contract measles because they themselves had been vaccinated. Still distrusting of the modern medical system, many of these parents, victims of an anti-vax disinformation campaign, chose not to bring their babies to hospitals, but to traditional healers. Healers who were, of course, incapable of doing anything against a disease that has wreaked havoc on humanity for centuries and brought entire civilizations to their knees. By the time the first 70 deaths had been reported, 60 of them were under the age of 5. By late December, the outbreak was beginning to come under control. Immunization rates spiked to 94% of the population, and the measles virus, with few unvaccinated victims left to infect, burned itself out. When all was said and done, the 2019 American Samoa measles outbreak had infected more than 5,700 people and killed 83. An overwhelming majority of those dead were children. To put this very bluntly, these children didn't die of measles. These children were killed by disinformation. The anti-vaccine influencers and conspiracy theorists who used the 2018 incident as ammunition to push their agenda are directly responsible for the 2019 American Samoa measles outbreak and each and every death that it caused. The measles virus is an ancient threat. It is a disease that is estimated to have killed 200 million people in the course of our history. We brought it to heel through our ingenuity with vaccines and inoculations, fighting to ensure that no parent ever again should have to bury their child who was killed by measles. These 83 deaths were completely unnecessary. Every single drop of blood from this unnecessary tragedy is on the hands of the frauds and con men who enabled it to happen. Those are the hands of the influencers and the big-time grifter from right here on our own soil. I'm sure you could have already guessed this by now, but that American anti-vaccine conspiracy influencer who propelled this to such a fucking catastrophe was none other than RFK Jr., a charlatan scumbag of the highest order who Shane, of course, sings the praises of.
Even though I know a lot of people think RFK is a total wingnut, dude, I've been on RFK's email list for like, I don't know how many years, his Children's Health Defense. And if you guys look at some of what that organization did, I think we would all agree with it.
And of course, because we're all getting fucking front row seats to the destruction of civilized society, RFK Jr., the conspiracy theorist whose propaganda helped fan the flames of a measles outbreak that killed 83 people, has been appointed to be the United States Secretary of Health and Human Services, which is as ridiculous as appointing Larry fucking Nassar to be a school nurse.
What's happening? What's fucking happening? What is fucking happening? And given that I try to keep up with the news recently, the Trump administration did put in that lady, what was her name? Susan Monaris, who was the head of the CDC, who is now being fired because she did not want to align herself, with the Trump administration's plan for MAHA, making America healthy again. And now you have actual competent people leaving their positions because they don't want to be part of this nonsense of possibly killing people because of the stupid ass policies. And there are some idiots out there who have such little critical thinking that all they care about is, oh, but RFK is a fit old man. He can do pull-ups, so what's the problem? Like, are you fucking dumb? I'm sorry, I know that I've said that a few times now, but it really baffles me. Like, my granddad was a pretty fit person, okay? I look up to him as a person who lives a lot, who likes to be active because I want to be able to stay as healthy and active as possible as I can for my child and for myself. The older I get, I look up to him for that. But the difference between him and I is that I would go and consult freaking medical expert whenever I'm feeling bad. My old man, or my granddad should I rather say, who was a fundamentalist Christian as he was actually working within the church, ended up not taking care of the cancer that was developing in his body because he believed that the Lord was going to solve it all. Like the ego, the carelessness, and the sheer disregard of the people around you that this administration is doing, it's making me fucking angry, and I'm not even American. How can you be like this? A person that has been debunked so many times, I'm sorry that I'm going for a low blow here, but he fucking deserves it, had a freaking brain worm eating him from the inside, and was single-handedly the reason as to why people were searching the word bear carcasses in Central Park for some time ago, is now the leader of the health ministry. Oh my god, Americans, I'm so sorry for you, man. You guys are fucking cooked. Like, this is one of the reasons why it's super important that you have these very protests that the likes of Shayne doesn't like, so that you stand up against that.
Jesus fucking Christ. Ugh. This pisses me off so fucking much. After the outbreak in American Samoa, RFK Jr., being the cowardly weasel that he is, tried to shirk any responsibility for the deaths that he was partly responsible for causing. He claimed that his visit to the territory had nothing to do with measles. It was just for entertainment purposes. Please don't be mad at me about the dead babies, I just wanted to make a wad of money. But even more blood-boiling than this, he addressed the outbreak, blaming it not only on the vaccines themselves, but on the islanders' poverty. Just the kind of scummy, disgusting shit that you can expect from a role model of Shane Vibes Truth. The American Samoa measles outbreak and my anecdote about the laser are just two examples of the danger of health conspiracy theories. And I think that they exemplify why what Shane is doing here is so fucking dangerous. It is my personally held belief that all conspiracy theorists start off as victims. People whose trust and distrust was taken advantage of and manipulated. Manipulated by people who don't actually care about them, but are using them. Using them to enrich themselves financially and publicly. Most conspiracy theorists are not really conspiracy theorists, they're victims of conspiracy theories. And whether they're your parents or that weird fucking guy at work, you know the one, all victims of conspiracy theories deserve a chance. It is everyone's responsibility to treat them with patience and help them understand the topics that they don't. After all, being tricked and lied to is completely forgivable. It is also my belief that Shane was once one of these victims, and he took the bait hook, line, and sinker. But rather than just sitting with his own ignorance, or God forbid, actually educating himself, Shane has instead decided to spread it, to poison others, and to profit off of their fear. The way that I see it, this is completely inexcusable. Shane seemingly has no medical background whatsoever, meaning that his anecdotes about health and medicine are not coming from some deep understanding of an authority figure. Rather than that, Shane is a sheep. Isn't that a movie? Shane the Sheep? Shaun the Sheep.
Shaun.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Instead of talking about legitimate health concerns and the research behind them, Shane obediently regurgitates the talking points of the elites that he trusts. People like Alex Jones and RFK Jr. Like both of the elites that he idolizes, Shane has also built a career off of spreading lies and deceit and profiting off of it immensely. While the scale and tone may absolutely be different, as far as I'm concerned, Shane, Alex Jones, and RFK Jr. are three heads of the same beast. Heads of the hydra of disinformation that is picking the flesh from the bones of the civilized world. None of them seem to give a flying fuck about what is true or ethical, simply what's gonna make them the most money.
True. When Mr. RFK had to testify for the different statement that he made, he was like, yeah, I can read scientific papers. Constantly conflates every single point that he reads with stupid ass thing that he has in his mind. Like, I cannot believe that anybody trusts him.
RFK Jr. works closely with a law firm that specializes in vaccine lawsuits. He makes 10% off of every case they win. RFK Jr. doesn't fearmonger about vaccines because he cares about you. He does it because it makes him a lot of money. Alex Jones has spent a lifetime building a platform that preys on fear, death, and bigotry. He runs a store that sells prepper gear and supplements.
Let's not forget that RFK once had, because this is something that he has tried to distance himself from, once had a company that was selling, was it clothes, that promoted Antivax. And he's now claiming that, hey, I have no longer any affiliation with them. It's a separate company. I'm not running the thing. Like, that does not absolve you for what you've done, dumbass.
Alex Jones doesn't spread false flag panic because he cares about you. He does it because it's making him a lot of money. Shane Vibes Truth has built a following of nearly 700,000 on Instagram, spreading every single conspiracy he can think of. He uses these conspiracies to push a promo code for supplements, on which he makes as much as a 20% commission. Shane doesn't talk about these conspiracy theories because he cares about you. He does it because it's making him a lot of money. Like all conspiracy theorists, they claim to be free thinkers and champions of fact and truth. But they are not. They are the sharks that circle in the bloody waters of our systemic failures. They hunt for the poor and the fearful and the angry and the desperate, whether it be on a remote island under generations of foreign occupation, or in a rural American town stricken with poverty, industries long shuttered, home to people who have been left behind by an empire to whom they have served their purpose. Conspiracy grifters claim to be aware of society's failures, that they can see the darkness through its torn fabric. But this is a lie, because every single grifter, from conspiracy theorist to CEO to politician to president to king, are riding atop the wheel that is crushing us. And they prey on that pressure that all of us can feel, and they offer to sell us salvation while they're sitting on our chests. I know that I compared conspiracy grifters to sharks earlier, but that was too generous.
Oh,
conspiracy
sharks
grifters
are good.
Are more like rats. They don't have the power to create the system, and many of them don't even really have the power to truly benefit from it. Instead, they are something much worse, the sniveling, obedient foot soldiers of it, diligently doing the dirty work of the elites they claim to despise, keeping we the people divided along arbitrary lines of politics, race, religion, sex, and creed.
I would argue that rats are actually even better than them, because at least they serve a noble purpose. Them and mice, right? The rats are going to have something tested upon them, and you know what? They fucking did it for the people, okay? They did it all for the rest of us. And for the people who actually have owned rats, from what I know anecdotally, they're pretty nice pets. But that's not me. I will never own a rat. I'm a cat person.
The conspiracy grifters are the final iteration of the conspiracy theory victim. Domesticated and unquestioning, traitors to their class and people, fighting to keep alive a system that sodomizes all of us. Our world is plagued with injustice, crippled by bigotry, and poisoned by the industries and actions of the corrupt elites who are getting rich off our backs. And as such, we live in a world that is wounded. Some seek to heal this wound, but conspiracy grifters, like botflies, seek to lay their eggs in it, to infect the weak for their personal gain, and to spread their poison to the farthest reaches of the civilized world. I really doubt that Shane is watching this, but in the off chance he is, I'd like to try and make an appeal to him in a language that I hope he'll understand. I am not a religious man, but it seems to me as though Shane is, which I fully respect. Now, while I personally view the fear and hatred that he spreads as being the antithesis of the teachings of the martyr who died on the symbol around his neck, it would be unfair for me to judge him on such a thing as, again, I am not a religious man. So I will leave the interpretation of the biblical morality of these actions to someone who understands the scriptures more than I do. But Shane, as an appeal to this part of your identity, I would like to leave you with one of the very few Bible verses that I actually know. I have no idea why I know this one, but I do, and I hope that you'll let it sit with you and metabolize it. Romans 15:1. Now we who are strong ought to bear the weakness of those without strength, and not just please ourselves. Shane, you have an immense responsibility. Throughout this video, I have illustrated that you are failing in that responsibility. You have lied and cheated the fearful and weak to please and enrich yourself. You are getting rich off the backs of those with little to give, and filling their heads with lies that could tear their families apart. This leads me to the final and I believe most pertinent appeal that I want to give you, Shane. I don't know how strong your religious convictions are. Whether you live your life diligently by the scriptures and the teachings of love of Jesus Christ, or whether you simply wear that symbol to mask the hatred and fear that you spread behind a facade of piety. But I do happen to know one more part of your identity that is far more ancient and far more sacred than any text on earth. And that, Shane, is that you are a father. I cannot imagine the love that a parent has for their child. It is ingrained in us, our most primal instinct to protect our young and our family and our community. It is a true and universal love felt by every human and animal on the entire planet. You, Shane, are one of the billions of parents on the planet who have the gift of knowing this love. And yet you are parroting propaganda from the elites at the top who profit off of tearing families like yours apart. Because of these elites and the propaganda and lies that they spread, there are 150 parents in American Samoa, just like you, who have had to bury their children in tiny caskets under tiny headstones. These parents will likely live for many more years and through many more chapters of their life, and someday they will grow old and gray, and they too will die. I don't know how old these parents will live to be, but what I do know is that none of their kids will ever be older than 4. You claim to care about the family unit, Shane, about how important its integrity is, but these parents and these families were not ripped apart by trans athletes or the gay agenda or any of your other nebulous, juvenile, bigoted boogeymen. These families were ripped apart because they listened to people who said the same things as you. Shane, this isn't about supplements or who built the pyramids. It's that the words that you are saying could kill people. There is no way of knowing for sure that someone has foregone needed medicine or medical attention because of the things that you're saying. But the things that you're saying, the lies and misinformation that you spread, are pushing people towards it. So I ask you this, Shane. If someone listened to you and the things that you told them, and the worst were to happen, would it be worth it? Would that fat commission check be worth it? Could you live with the guilt of being the reason that 2 parents somewhere in the world had to buy a tiny little headstone? You need to stop this, Shane. If not for others, for yourself. The final thing that I want to leave you with here, Shane, is that in this case, at the very least, I pray to whatever God there is that you are a hypocrite.
And that you, on your souls,
at the very least, have had or plan to have your children immunized. Because believe me, there is no bank account fat enough, no Instagram following big enough, and no commission check fat enough to outweigh the grief of having to buy a tiny little headstone. I'm done with this fucking video. I have nothing left to say on this. Part 3 is going to be covering more of Shane's creationism. We're going to be talking about biology. It'll be the video with Professor Dave Explains in it, so subscribe to catch that at the live premiere. Chances are, by the time you're watching this video, Part 3 is already out, so go check that out. And if you haven't seen Part 1 yet, go check that one out while you're waiting. And you can also check out my series on Philip Ziva, which is kind of similar to this, but it's all already out. Thank you all very much for watching. I'd greatly appreciate if you could leave an interaction on the video. Comments, likes, and subscriptions and things like that help this video do better in the algorithm, which allows me to keep making these videos here for free. So if you have a friend that also likes playing really long videos in the background while they, do their dishes and laundry, share this video with them as well. You'll have something to talk about the next time you hang out.
Dude, the frustration in Milo's voice at the end there and everything. Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. Like, as a father too, I don't know what pushes a person to get to that point, but fuck. Yeah. Shane, do much better from now on. that's all you have. That being said, folks, thank you so much for checking out this video. I know that this one was had way less commentary as I would have liked to, because I like to make these a bit more transformative, but a lot of this just shocked me and just left me speechless that he went to this extent. And having Milo deconstruct every single thing there just shocks me even more. But that's how it is. So I guess the next time we're going to be diving into things that are, I guess, that we can kind of laugh at, hopefully. That being said though, wish you all to have a wonderful day, stay awesome, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.